Students, class is about to begin. Take your seats immediately. I will not repeat myself, so help you, Demi. Before we begin this lecture, you cretins are going to listen to a short disclaimer provided to you by the student curriculum. Listen closely to this, you morons.
Warning, warning! The following lecture may contain language and content that may not be suitable for younger demis. Listener discretion is advised. Also, be aware that spoilers for the entirety of Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun will be present, as well as other possible spoilers for other anime series. Be very careful in case there's a classroom lecture that you probably didn't get to finish yet. Finally, the opinions expressed by the demis in this lecture are those of the individual participants and do not reflect Dub Talk as a whole. Now please enjoy this lecture and yeah!
That's enough of that nonsense. Now, take some notes. You will be quizzed on this. I'm not in the mood for this lollygagging nonsense. Let this lecture begin, and if I find any disruptive troublemakers, there will be hell to pay. Understood? Good. Now enjoy, maggots.
Yeah, Bobby, 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 Bobby Lou.
Good evening, fellow demis. Tonight's demonic history class will be recounting the stories of the demon school Babylinth and the early days of some iconic demon alumni from before your time. I'm your teacher for today, Professor Classy Spartan, but my close acquaintances call me Andrew. Please make sure you've ordered the correct textbooks for today's lecture. Check that you're in the right class, and if you see any humans, please report them to me. Please report those humans to me so we can begin the proper cooking procedures. My guest lecturers and assistants for today's class are Professor Jet of Demon Language Studies.
The servers ate my homework again.
Well, that's a shitty excuse, but that happened to me too, so I feel you there. Professor Stephanie of the Demonic Theater Department.
I'm sorry, who the hell certified you as a teacher anyway? I call horseshit.
Back alley deals, don't worry about it. And our head chef Jamal, proficient in cooking based in the lower circles of hell. How you doing, bud?
Yes!
I'm sorry, were you saying something, Professor Andrew?
Oh, were you listening to Magical Babyrinth again instead of listening to me?
I mean, fan service wins over frustration, so...
You know
Not
what?
wrong.
I can't even be mad. It's catchy as hell. But I digress. All right, kids, grab your pens and paper and take some notes. This may end up on the end of the year exams after all. You never know. Today, it's time to discuss Iruma. To that, I decree and say, welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun! This is a show I've been wanting to talk about for a little while now, and I've finally gotten 3 people together to sit down and talk about it. I'm assuming with their consent. At this point, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, Andrew, don't you tell this lie. I was the one who told you to watch the show originally.
Okay, you're right. I actually
He's been
forgot about
called
that. You're
out.
right.
Nice.
He's been called out. And I mean, you assume with consent, but you know, you made me fucking marathon it with you because you wanted me to watch the fucking show.
Okay, you're right. It did
Also, welcome to Dub Talk, bitches. We're here to talk about demons today.
Yep. This is the Dubtalk podcast. We're talking about good demon boys and girls and everything in between. For this show, for anybody who wants to know what this show is about, the synopsis is as follows. The story follows Iruma Suzuki, a 14-year-old human boy who is sold to a demon by his shitty parents. That's not in the synopsis, I'm just adding shitty because his parents are really, really that shitty.
His parents are horrible.
The demon known as Sullivan takes Iruma to the demon world and officially adopts him as his grandson. He enrolls Iruma in the Babylinth School for Demons, where he is the headmaster and where Iruma quickly befriends the demons Asmodeus and Clara.
However, Sullivan tells Iruma to never reveal that he is human, since he will be eaten if anybody finds out. Iruma then vows to blend in during his time in the demon world, although he only stands out because of all the situations and adventures that arise.
That synopsis is slightly wrong. Sullivan never tells him to not reveal himself. He just tells him that he will be eaten if they knew he was a human.
Yeah.
And Iruma's just like, I can't let anyone know.
Yeah, I'm reading this one from Wikipedia right now, so that's kind of why. But either way, it's
Wikipedia, where you get 100% factual information.
Fair enough. But either way, I just needed a general synopsis. It's basically, this is a good boy who is... Oh god, I almost said it. Alright, okay.
Do it.
Because this is a Crunchyroll production, I might as well ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this isekai?
No.
This is not isekai.
Technically, yes. It's just not like a power fantasy. Explicitly.
It's not really a power fantasy. It's just...
He's not transported to another world. He's transported to the underworld.
Yeah, okay,
not transport- he's not-
another world. It is like...
It is another world. It is Netherworld.
Okay, look, there's no need to, like, sit here and dispute it. It's an isekai, technically. It's not a traditional isekai,
you.
but it's technically an isekai. Like.
It is not the tropes and trends that you would associate with isekai, but one could argue it kind of sort of is.
Fuck you. He was not transported. He was fucking kidnapped.
He was sold.
He was kidnapped.
Okay, it doesn't matter what the details are. The point is, he was sent to another world.
He got there somewhere.
I'm gonna say
Sometimes
whatever
it's
bullshit I want just to say it's not an isekai because
Look.
I will be upset with myself to believe this is an isekai.
Sometimes it's a truck. Sometimes it's a heart attack. Sometimes it's an old man with a mustache who's a demon.
I mean, Steph, look. Okay, Steph, I mean, look. We grew up on isekai. I mean, we all grew up on Digimon. Well, not Andrew here, but, like... We see good isekai.
You're lucky I like you people, otherwise
It's
I
true,
wouldn't be
we
taking
have
this.
seen good isekai, and fuck you for making the parallel of isekai to fucking Digimon Jet. I hate you now.
I mean, I'm not even the first person who's done that. Like, it's an isekai.
Because you're not wrong! I'm mad because you're not wrong, and I hate it now. I hate it here. I want to go home.
If you're gonna make parallels to tropes and other shows, we might as well call this show what it actually is. My Demon Academia.
And
Fuck!
Look. This is... look, somebody has straight up called Iruma Blue Deku, and I can't even say they're wrong.
I think that was me, Andrew.
You're not the only one. I know at least 2 other people who have called him Blue Deku, and you know what?
Shit.
He's the exact kind of character I adore and love as a protagonist, just like Deku. So it works out, actually. Anyways, I know we're kind of divulging. This is a show I've really been excited to talk about and do a dub talk on. This is actually an interesting one, because this is a Crunchyroll, like, produced and, like, supposedly funded, like, English dub. It's a simul-dub that they did on their service. There's a lot of... They've actually done a decent amount of these shows I've really wanted to talk about, or a lot of us have wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to do that sometimes, because we tend to be missing a couple of key important characters or staff that is just flat out unknown.
I know for a while it took you a bit to get even the amount of people we even have to talk about
so I guess we're
today.
just ripping the Band-Aid off now, because this...
We may as well.
Because
rip the
this
Band-Aid
show in
off.
particular was interesting, because, like, you want to know the amount of people who were, like, officially announced by Crunchyroll for this show.
Fuck all?
Well, yeah, like,
None.
literally no one. The only reason why we know who anyone in this show is because the actors promoted themselves.
A lot of them were very open about their roles, and a couple of them, it was kind of like we had to either put our heads together and be like, is that who I think it is? Or I straight up had to ask, at least for 1 or 2 of these, the director of this had an AMA on Reddit that I just straight up asked one of them, okay, who plays this guy? And that's how we're able to talk about it. Like, here's the thing. I kind of want to open with this because I really want this to be a very positive one, because I really do think this is a good one to talk about.
It is.
It's just...
It is.
It's like, yeah,
There's a lot of characters And this would almost have been impossible to do if, like, half of these were just straight up anonymous.
No, it's like, right off the bat, the dub itself is stupidly fun and I enjoyed it.
Yes.
But the problem is, I think, on the back end of it, on Crunchyroll, that's where things faltered. Because it's like, we would love to know who these people are. And it's like, I'm pretty sure Crunchyroll announces, like, voice actors for, like, Seiyu for the Japanese stuff as part of their new stuff. So why can't they do something simple like this? They did rectify it in a couple future ones a little bit.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, they definitely gotten better about it. And as I like, and I like, and I knew it was like, I knew it could be partially attributed to an interview they did with Zach Mercy that never came out. May he rest in peace. But
Bless his heart. It also, for better or for worse, there might have just been a couple of people on the internet who were just like, hey, can you reveal the cast or promote the dubs a little more? And then it's like, okay, maybe.
And
here's the thing, I don't want to...
they did it with, they got better about it, because I know they did it with Villainess.
And I said, okay, to be fair, this actually is, like, far from the worst instance. I don't think the worst instance was actually, like, Science Fell in Love, so I had to prove it, where it was, like, 3 months where we, like, literally didn't know who a single person in the show was.
Oh, I thought they revealed that one, but they didn't reveal that.
That was like 3 months where they didn't reveal who anyone was. It was literally like the lead is probably Billy Commence, but like he never said it that right, and everyone else was like, I had no idea who this is.
Anyways, I kind of just wanted to open on that, mainly just because A, it needed to be addressed, and B, I just want to talk about the show right now. And I will give credit where it's due. I think this was a really good show to fund and give a dub, and I'm very happy to talk about it.
I'm just gonna do a TLDR version of what this conversation was just like. Crunchyroll, we love you, but please, if you want us to watch your dubs and stuff, please promote them, 1, and 2, announce your casts. Because people do want to know.
Be better with their crews.
Okay, they've gotten better with the cast. Like, it's crews, that's really the main problem now.
I'd love to talk about...
I'm just saying, this was the TLDR version of the conversation.
Crunchyroll, we love you, but boy,
Specifically, it's like, it's supposedly just like a staff thing now, especially with like a lot of Studiopolis dubs.
Yeah.
Anyways, that out of the way, basically the reason we mentioned we mentioned the stuff about the crews is the ADR director and scriptwriter are integral for the behind the scenes of a dub, for it sounding good and for it being acted and directed really good. And it's the kind of thing we really want to give props to when we discuss it. And I would like to discuss the ADR director and scriptwriter for this particular dub. This is being directed by... Sorry, I had a burp there.
Good job.
This, the dub of Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun is being directed by Jalen K. Cassell, and is being written by one Rachel Robinson.
Hell yeah, Rachel!
Jalen Cassell has directed one other production so far as I can find, is that he has directed Ascendance of a Bookworm, another Crunchyroll-produced dub.
I need to
specifically the first 4 episodes.
As far as credit stuff, yeah. As for what else you might know Jalen for, he's mostly known as a scriptwriter in the behind-the-scenes stuff. He's written such things as Berserk 2016, Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel, the first movie, Be the Beginning, and of course, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusader, Diamond is Unbreakable, and Golden Wind.
Most of Golden Wind.
There was another guy that has taken over henceforth.
Yes.
Rachel Robinson, you might know, who has written such things as Katsugeki Token Ranbu, Kakegurui, Record of Grand Crest War, the Bang Zoom redub, not the Miami one, the Bang Zoom redub of Aiko Incarnation, and just because this is a really good show, I wanted to bring up very slightly, she also wrote for Snow White with the Red Hair.
Yes.
A really, really good dub.
Yes. I love that show. I love it so much.
Alright, so going into just starting out with some thoughts.
This is stupid fun.
This is stupid fun, and both this feels like everything about the show. It feels like the people working on it are just having a blast.
100%. You can tell from the casting, the directing, and the writing, to which, oh god. So the writing is actually has a few, like a bunch of fun little jokes and stuff like that. And I think we were either talking about this during the episode or just before we started recording.
I think it was before we recorded.
And there were some little bits of like slang or some dialogue that you would associate to like today, really, but it still kind of works.
Yeah.
Rachel made Clara say yeet, and I didn't fucking notice it until rewatching it, and I'm like, wait, did Clara just fucking say yeet? And why do I want to punch someone, but why does it also still work?
Like, if I had to describe the way Rachel does it, I'd say it in a way kind of similar to, I think, the way Jalen operates with some of his scripts too, is that it's fateful and it does a good job conveying the right emotions and stakes, be it like a funny scene or even a dramatic scene, because there's a couple of dramatic moments in the show too, but it's got just the right level of spice and zest to it that I think really congeals very well. I don't know why I'm going for food analogies. I feel like Jamal's influence is on me with that one.
Wait, what now?
He just completely missed that part. Well, I mean, it makes sense. Jalen has written pretty much almost all of JoJo at this point. And JoJo has moments.
Jet,
and I was just going to say, like, yeah, well, like, the last 3 seasons specifically, but, like, but yeah, he's got, like, a pretty good handle on JoJo's tone at this point. I mean, like,
right.
For this show, I will admit that, like, since I obviously wasn't really familiar with Jalen's, like, directing style aside from, like, the first 4 episodes of Bookworm, which were pretty good, but, like, obviously that's not a comedy, so I didn't know exactly what to expect here. But I thought it sounded pretty good. Like, I thought the general direction of the dub was, like, maybe a little rougher on the edges for, like, the first couple of episodes, since it seemed like he was still kind of feeling things out. But it's like, but definitely got better with time, and it definitely picked up very quickly. I thought everyone here was, like, pretty well cast. So I definitely no complaints on that end. And while no one here is, like, new, I appreciated a lot of, like, lesser known faces at Bang Zoom got casted here alongside a couple of veterans. And like everyone else was saying, I thought the script was really good too. So it was maybe like a little too 1-for-1 at the beginning, but it definitely got looser with time, like Jalen's direction.
I think once it loosened up, it really grew into its own.
100%.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a similar deal I had with Dakota 2 and then where it's like maybe a little too tight in the beginning, but then like after like an episode or two they loosen up and then it just keeps hitting.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty apt comparison.
Mm-hmm. I have to say also to give credit where credit is due. Aside from the casting being magical as fuck, like, I also have to give credit where credit is due. The songs are all dubbed.
Yes.
Okay,
the songs are all dubbed, and because 2020, of course, is a fucking horrific year. Because I remember when I was watching the show with Andrew, he was wondering if some of the latter songs were going to be dubbed still in that time crunch, and they did it. So, like, it managed to keep the consistency, and it didn't lose its quality only because everybody's at home now, which I have to give kudos for.
Yeah, I will note these songs were delayed for like maybe like a couple of days because I did like watch a couple of these episodes like right as they aired for the dub, but like
really?
But it wasn't like too big a delay. It was like maybe like 1 or 2 days they held it back.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I think that was specifically for episode 19, which actually, just to give a quick time frame for what happened with the Iruma-kun stuff, it was basically at the start of December, it was a pretty much aired weekly, same like simul dub.
Mm-hmm.
Around episode, I want to say 15, Iruma, alongside a couple other Crunchyroll dubs, were basically put on hold for like a month and a half.
That sounds about right, because I think you and I marathoned it through until we got to 14, and of course I got mad about the end of 14, but we'll get into that. And then I think after that, we picked it up again once the dub was starting to come back, and we watched it together every week, so.
Basically, for sure, like, it was delayed at 15. 15 episodes were recorded for sure in the studio. Some stuff from 16 to 18 was done in the studio. Some of it was done remotely, and then episode 19 to episode 23 was done completely remotely. Which, to give credit to the whole song thing, the person who wrote, sang, and adapted the songs are pretty much the same person. And most of the songs were done remotely from home.
As in the actress who sang most of those songs wrote them too?
Yep.
Yes.
I believe she did. Yes.
What about the Dem Doll one? Was that
okay?
her as well?
She adapted those, but
she did not
sing those. That was the two characters themselves.
Okay, so the actress who sang the majority of the songs also adapted all of the songs.
Yeah.
I'll just yes.
Got it.
I'm not-
We're not
I'm
going
not
to
gonna
say who it
say
is right now, but
I'll just say they play a good old green gremlin girl.
your favorite gremlin child.
Yeah, so
So yeah, Jamal, do you have some thoughts?
yeah, so since for me it's pretty much unknown territory, I did like what I saw of the dub, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more, because I know he's already proven to be a very great director so far, so... And Rachel...
Yeah, because this is also my first outing with Jalen as director.
And Rachel, I've only ever seen her write for 2 other projects I'm familiar with, but she does very good work with adaptation from what I've heard in previous episodes. Previous podcast episodes, I mean.
Yeah, 100%.
But other than that, everything's good, so...
Like,
It was
But yeah,
fried chicken!
Yes!
it was fried chicken. Yeah,
It was fried chicken!
The first time I saw that scene, I lost my shit. I even texted in the Discord because I was busting a gut laughing. It was fried chicken!
The whole timing of that bit was absolutely perfect, because it's okay. So Asmodeus and Clara are having a cook-off basically in order to try and make Iruma cheer up and everything.
Which, first things first, adorable.
Yeah.
Good kids.
Beautiful. And then Asmodeus is trying to decipher the cookbook that Clara has from her family, and he can't fucking figure it out based on the names of the stuff in there. So he tries his best to figure it out, but then Clara's like, is that really how you make your fried chicken? It was fried chicken!
Because he thought it was like a cookie or a chocolate or something.
so
Because it was like a mumble wumble fumble. Like
Muffle
like-
waffle crackle bag.
Yes!
it was like Banjo Kazooie sound effect. Like, what the fuck's an Ekum Bokum?
And then, like, the whole scene progresses with him repeating the line, it was fried chicken, in different scenarios. One including him in fucking space.
He's in space and it's like screaming it with like
It
the
was
voice.
fried chicken!
I'm like, oh, that's so funny. But
No,
yeah,
this has so much fun with its comedic tone, its comedic timing, to which I think Jalen on the directing and freaking nailed the comedic timing of this show. It was spot on, and I loved it.
I think, like, for sure, the vocal direction, the script adaptation, and the casting,
Yes.
they're perfect on
100%.
all cylinders for this one.
100%.
Yeah, you're not gonna get any complaints here. And if there's one thing I've gotten from Demon School Iruma-kun, Jalen's great at script adaptation. Give him more things to direct.
Please.
For sure, he deserves it.
I would love to see him direct more things, please.
Yeah, so, yeah, it would
For
be nice if
sure.
we got to maybe direct a couple of upcoming things for the season. That'd be cool.
Wink, wink,
Yeah.
nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Cough,
right.
cough, sneeze, sneeze.
Anyways,
Choke, choke.
now that we've talked about
Rub,
the
rub.
behind the scenes, let's talk about
Sorry.
talk about-
Hold on, sorry. I heard that, Jamal, and I sipped my coffee and almost spat it out.
oh no.
Fuck.
This is gonna be a fun one.
Rub, rub.
All right, we all set to move on?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm dying right now. Whew, okay.
Please don't die. I want to
I'm
talk about some good Demi kids.
I'm trying, sweetie. I am. I really am.
All right. So we're going to start off with our first batch of Demi kids. This is a compilation of a bunch of members from the Misfit class. Specifically, the boys of the Misfit class. -1. -1.
Because we have no confirmation of that one.
Remember the conversation we had earlier about we can't cover some shows because we're missing certain characters? We got pretty much almost everybody for Iruma, but I do not know who plays the perverted owl Kaim Kamui.
Yes, we don't know who Mineta
I'm just
Owl
gonna
is.
say he's a fucking pervert. I'm
He's
just
a
gonna say he's a fucking
fucking
pervert.
shitbird.
and
great.
I will just lovingly refer to him as a Mineta Owl because that's basically what he is.
He's basically the Mineta Owl, which, because I can't talk about the character or his English voice, I would like to mention he's played by Gakuto Kawajiri in Japanese, who you'll know as Asta from Black Clover and Shinra from Fire Force.
Fuck!
Anyways,
I can only
yes.
imagine how much screaming he did in the Japanese for this one.
Anyways, if you are somebody who has worked on the dub of Iruma-kun and you are watching this episode, first of all, thank you. Second of all, I'm sorry. But thirdly,
Who the fuck this?
if you can confirm to us who is the English voice actor of Kaim Kamui in hindsight, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah,
But
who the fuck this?
I can talk about some of the other good boys in the Misfit class, including Alistair how do you say his name? Alistair Schneider, who is a lion-headed boy who speaks in proverbs. Andrew M. Jazz, who is a good shady boy who who's in the new magic club, and he's got a knack for stealing things.
Look here. New Magic Battler, get your shit right.
Yes, he's in the new magic battler. My mistake. Thank you, sweetie.
You're welcome.
Agaris Picaro, who is a sleepy boy who sleeps on a cloud. He looks comfy. Garp Goemon, who is basically, he is a mop head, and he has a power that is basically just a wind sword, and that's the coolest shit. And then there's Shaq's lead, who is who's a little blonde shitlord who keeps his eyes closed. He always sits on his tail, he plays video games, and he's probably somebody's precious child.
This is Kaminari, Andrew.
This
is Denki Kaminari.
He looks like Kaminari. Did I say his name is Shaq's lead? His
Yes.
name's Shaq's lead.
His name is
Okay.
Shaq's lead, but this is Kaminari. Like, you cannot tell me. The hairstyle is slightly similar in color, because he has the black squiggle in his hair. This is Kaminari.
Yes, I see a little bit of this. These are all some good boys. They're pretty fun character designs. They're very fun characters. I'd like to see a little more of them in the future seasons, which I think we will get to see more of them from what I'm told.
There's one in particular I'm hoping, but
yeah. Before we get more into discussing these characters, let's talk about who plays them. Alistair Schneider is played by Landon McDonald. Andrew M. Jazz is played by Ryan Colt Levy. Agaris Picaro is played by Brian Timothy Anderson. Garp Goemon is played by Tom Bauer. And Shaq's lead is played by Brandon Winkler. Landon McDonald has played such characters as the assistant from Magical Senpai, Kasim from Isekai Cheat Magician, and Jiro Akimoto from Sirius the Jaeger. Andrew M. Jazz, his only other, Ryan Levy's only other anime credit I can find is Squallow from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But just to mention some other work he's done some live-action Netflix dubs, including as Merrick Kulik from The Mire and Julian from MILF.
okay.
You can't just drop that on me without an explanation, but okay.
I can and I will. There is some sort of Netflix foreign live action thing that is called MILF, and now you are better for knowing this information.
I have questions, but I don't know if I want to know the answers.
I can't even answer it. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention some fun things that Ryan
I had the joke, but I'm refraining from that.
Brian Timothy Anderson. He is Delta Zakuro in Beyblade Burst Rise, Mark in Ascendance of a Bookworm, and Here's a fun fact. Did you know there was a live-action Full Metal Alchemist movie on Netflix?
Oh,
yes,
shit, this thing.
I did watch it.
What was he?
He was Envy.
Really?
Yeah, this was a fun fact I found.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't watch the live action movies. So.
I didn't either, and I don't think I want to. I just know it's there. And
It existed. It's not like the worst thing I've seen, but it does do a pretty lame job of like. It's basically like, okay, here's the plot summary of all this like really cool stuff from like the first couple of arcs you liked.
If you're gonna watch Full Metal Alchemist, 03 or Brotherhood, just go for those.
Yes.
Tom Bauer as Garp Goemon. Tom has played such characters as Daichi Shiratori from Mob Psycho 100, Hush Midi from Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans Season 2, and Phaeton Porter in Hunter x Hunter 2011. And Brandon Winkler. He's played such characters as Kuro Sakuragawa from Inspector, Theo Cornaro from Record of Grand Crest War, and Yu-Gi-Oh, aka
the best
number
boy.
one best boy, actual boyfriend of Kirito in Sword Art Online, Alicization, fuck you, fight me. He's the canon best.
He is. He is the canon best. We all know this to be true. There's no other answers.
Now my question to all of you. Of these 5, who's your canon best and why?
For me, it's gonna be a tie between Shax and Jazz. I feel like the other performances do kind of fade into the background and they don't stand out very well. But, like, they're good background characters. I'm not saying the performances are horrible, because each of them have a fun personality and little quirks to them, like fucking Schneider with his proverbs and stuff like that. But I feel like, as characters, Shax and particularly Jazz, I think out of this group, Jazz is my favorite. They stand out a lot more because they have fun personalities and little quirks to them. Especially like Jazz's little mischievous, like nonchalant, like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And then he just has your wallet in his hands for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
I love rewatching the show in hindsight and realizing all the things that were foreshadowed ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like, in episode 3, when we first meet Clara, Cum, yes, I know his name's Cum, just pretend it's not a problem. His name's Cum. Basically, yeah, he's got a store of students that are banned from his store.
Oh.
Yeah.
And when he's showing Clara's picture, right next to Clara is Jazz. And it's because Jazz just steals shit from people.
It's funny. It's the best. Like, he I think my other favorite moment, though, with, one of my other favorite moments with Jazz is, it also happens early on, when they're in the, botany tower. Mm-hmm. And they're making their little magic flowers for the first time. Jazz makes this fucking flower that has like gold and diamonds and fucking pearls, and his only response is, "How much do you think I could get for this?"
Yeah.
You know what? He's got his priorities set.
Yeah, it's his priorities, and I'm all for it. But performance-wise, I do like all 5 of these characters and these performances. But Ryan Cole Levy and Brandon Winkler definitely stood out for me. I completely forgot that Brandon was also Yu-Gi-Oh! I forgot. Like, I know we went over this when you and I watched it the first time, but I completely forgotten going into this again that this was Brandon.
I think the interesting thing for me about Brandon is... Brandon, I'm very used to playing like kind of like the straight man, like leading guy.
I only
a
know
little
him as
more
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Either a little more quiet and a little more soft spoken.
Yes.
Shax is a lot more of kind of like a goofy, like bouncy, energetic kind of bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like he's very fun. He's kind of a little snarky, and he's very fun. I think like he also gets. Because there's that whole scene where, like, Iruma gets his ring, and he's basically, like, screaming bloody murder, because it's like, "Oh my god, my ears! How are you not being affected by this? Please shut Clara up! That's only gonna make it worse!" And Brandon's, like, screaming really well to match, like Brandon sounds like they're in pain. And, yeah, that's just cool. Like, for sure, I'd say Jazz and Shax are the one that stand out the most to me right now.
Yeah.
But I also just want to give credit to Brian Anderson, I can't really say much about this performance because he just kind of, he's a little sleepy, and he woke up that one time to be like, why'd you wake me up? Fuck you.
And then destroys the ground.
Which that was fine and dandy.
You're out. You're not supposed to use magic that's not on the vault. They were just loud.
Landon's got a very quirky voice, but I think it's pretty fun for Schneider.
Right.
I really like Tom Bauer. We don't get to talk about him all the time, and when we do, I very much enjoy talking about him, because I really liked him in, like, Fate Apocrypha as Cowless Yigida Millennia.
The Yigida Millennia.
That's a name.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't write it down because I could only get so tongue-tied.
Okay, Andrew, I will applaud you for actually pronouncing Yigida Millennia right in the first try.
I watched that show, okay? I did an episode, I remember.
I edited that episode.
Tom's performance of Goemon, the voice reminds me of another fucking actor, and I can't place it. It's not Derek Stephen Prince, it's, shit. Who the fuck does he remind me of? It's a similar tone.
If I had to compare, I don't like comparing, but if I had to compare it to anything, he kind of sounds a little bit like Brian Beacock to
That's
me.
it, Brian Beacock. That's exactly who I was thinking of.
Specifically Brian Beacock as Monokuma.
Yes.
Like, that's what his
Yes.
tone of voice reminds me of, and that's not, like, what I know from Tom's voice, so I was pretty surprised when he did it, and he does a good job.
I know nothing. Here's my thing. I know nothing about any of these actors with the exception of Brandon Winkler because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a human that exists. But I do want to hear more from these characters, because if one female character in the next section that we discuss tells us anything, there's a good chance that some of these characters are going to have more to them. And there is a second season confirmed.
There is a second season confirmed. I cannot wait.
Me too.
Also, just because I forgot to mention him, Ryan's got this very nice, like, chill, casual bro voice to him as Jazz.
Yeah.
And I think it's very fun because here's what it is. He's a very friendly guy. He's a good dude. He's a good student. He's probably got some back alley deals you don't know about,
definitely.
but it's cool. He's a good guy.
His voice is a lot more chill, which I think brings a lot more balance to a lot of the high energy performances, which is a good thing, honestly.
Like, if Jazz wasn't a troublemaker, Jazz as a student, he's the stoner guy in your school.
Fuck.
Nah.
Jazz is the stoner guy.
Or maybe in your state, but
Jamal, who does Jazz remind you of then, Jamal?
it's like any New Yorker, really.
New Yorker?
Yeah.
Where?
You know, I can kind of see it a little.
A little
see
bit.
A little, but not much, because, boy, when was the last time you went to New York, Jamal? New Yorkers are fucking horrendous sometimes.
2007, and Ryan Colt Levy's from Queens, so...
Is he? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, he's like, for a guy I literally did not hear about until I watched Iruma-kun, I really like his voice, and I really want to hear him in more anime now, because he's got a cool voice, and he's a cool dude. Jet, what do you think?
You guys have covered basically a lot of what I would have said. I enjoyed a lot of these performances. Admittedly, they kind of faded into the background for me, so I don't have too much to say about them. But I particularly like Landon McDonald or Tom Bauer. But I do think Brandon Wickler and Brian T. Anderson stood out probably the most out of these characters.
Oh, okay.
So I did like Jazz for whenever he got to do things. I thought he had a pretty fun kind of shady personality, and he probably stood out the most among these guys. And I also like Brandon as a gamer boy. So like Steph was saying, he reminded me a lot of Kaminari, and and as you were talking, I realized that if you were to make the My Hero parallels, the character he talks to most is technically the Mineta Owl, and Kaminari is maybe the only person who talks to Mineta a lot. So.
No.
They do beat up Kamui a lot because it's literally during the
Oh,
execution
shit.
cannonball game, it's like, hey, yo, you caught it, cool, she's safe, and then he gives it back to Elizabetta because he's thirsty, and then him, Goemon and Schneider, like, all kick his ass, because it's like, how dare you be thirsty? We're trying to rank up.
And then he got disqualified, I think, for that bullshit too.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you really want to talk blending in the background. There's another student in this class who literally does not talk yet.
Yeah.
Person Soy is apparently his name.
Yeah.
I don't know what his deal is. We'll find out maybe in season 2?
Question mark?
Yeah, pretty much. It's probably gonna be like, if you want to go for the My Hero comparisons, it's like how Koji Koda did not talk until season 2.
Fuck God, these comparisons are fierce tonight.
Yeah.
And there's probably going to be comparisons to other shows later on, but we'll get to that.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
But yeah, all in all, there's not too much to talk about these characters, but I think I actually did quite enjoy these characters, their designs, and was pretty entertained by their performances as well.
Yes. Yes, yes.
You done, Jet?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure we're all set to move on.
Did you have anything to say, Jamal?
Yes, I'm here in the background, apparently. So,
Oh no!
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, to be honest, I really have nothing to say on them except for Ryan Colt Levy, but that's because I've been getting familiar with his voice, because I see him on a couple of Twitch streams, many Jordan Dash cruises, and I really like his voice. Like, I'm starting to get used to his voice now. Of course, I hear a little bit of Matt Shipman, but that's because they're both New Yorkers, so... But it works.
You know, yeah, okay. I was gonna be like, where'd you get... Oh, yeah, New York. That makes sense.
Comparison, yes.
But yeah, no. I think these are all good kids, and I'll say this. I kind of cheated a little. Okay, this isn't really cheating, but... I got curious. Iruma-kun's run is in a shonen magazine, and they do popularity polls. Weekly Shonen Champion, for those curious. It's the same magazine that B-Stars is run in, for example, among other things. I was curious to see what the top 10 most popular characters are as of the most recent popularity poll. Jazz and Shaq's Lead are in the top 10.
Huh.
So that probably means they get some interesting, fun things to do later on. Jazz is number 10, and Shaq's Lead is number 7. I think that's Shaq's. I'm not looking at a high-quality picture, but it looks like it could be him. I don't know. But yeah, no. That probably means they're going to get some fun things to do in the future. I can't wait. Season 2 dub, please. Okay, thanks, bye. Alright, so we've talked about some of the good boys. Let's talk about some of the lovely ladies of... not only just the Misfit class, let's talk about some of the other ladies in Babylinth. We are talking about Dosonko. She is the one-eyed babe of the school.
Dosonko is fucking great.
Yeah.
There is no way to describe it. I wouldn't call her like... She is basically the school hottie. And that's amazing. Like, she's the hottie. That's so funny. And then there's Eiko. Eiko was in episode 1.
Eiko's just doing her best.
Eiko was in episode 1. She almost got stabbed by Asmodeus.
Ooh.
And then Iruma German suplexed him and saved her life. And then she had a huge crush on him. And then has literally she has never once talked to Iruma. Every time she's like, I wonder what Iruma's doing, Iruma always runs past her. They never talk. It's sad. You can do it, Eiko. I believe in you. But then, it turns out, not only does Eiko have a crush on Iruma, during the whole Party Eve event, she almost gets trampled and crushed. But then, class president Ameri saves her life. And guess what? She gets the hots for Ameri, too.
She has a thing for being rescued as a damsel in distress, apparently.
She is a disaster bisexual who wants to be bridal carried so hard by a prince or princess.
Yes.
And god damn it, you can do it, Eiko, you beautiful disaster bisexual.
Happy Bi Visibility Day.
Oh,
Happy...
man.
Fuck! You're right! Happy Bi Visibility Day to Eiko.
Yeah, I believe she will talk to Iruma in like the very last chapter of the manga.
Anyways, look, all I'm gonna say is I would accept a poly headcanon that is just Eiko, Ameri, and Iruma. I'm totally okay with that. Oh, right, I'm talking about this. Oh, wait.
Moving
I'm
on.
getting sidetracked right
Yes,
now,
you
aren't I?
are.
Okay. We're also here to talk about Elizabetta X, who is a huge babe in the class of Misfits. She is the one that gets thirsted after by Kamui a lot, but she's pretty cool. Oh, okay, there's no... She's got some nice horns. You could say she's pretty horny. Moving on.
God damn it, Andrew.
I don't really know much else to say about Elizabetta other than she's hot
there.
and she's a demon. But we can actually talk about Carolee Crochelle, also known as the demi-doll Kuromu.
Kuramu.
Which, she goes the entire show just straight up being a wallflower who kind of does nothing. And then they reveal, oh no, she's actually, she really wants to be noticed. But she's an idol girl. And every time there's a new thing about one of her concerts, it gets upstaged by Iruma shenanigans.
And the fun thing when you're watching the show is that if you pay attention, like whenever the school newspaper comes out, you can see her being visibly frustrated every time she reads it.
Yep.
Oh yes, I would notice that, but on my rewatch, I'm like, oh, that's why she's so pissed
No, I
at
know. I
him.
picked up on it too when I rewatched it. I'm like, oh man, it's great.
Okay. Playing these lovely ladies, Dasonko is played by Sarah Ann Williams. Eiko is played by Skylar Davenport. Elizabetta is played by Natalie Rose. And Carolee is played by Xanthi Wynn. Sarah Ann Williams you'll know as such characters as Felix Argyle from ReZero, Melee from Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life, Midori Ikishima from Kakegurui, Neferpito from Hunter x Hunter 2011, and, just because we're not talking about her, Susie Stolas from Iruma-kun as well.
Which
And
one
before
is
you
Susie?
ask,
Yeah.
here's who Susie is. Yes, yes.
I knew that was
Yes,
her.
yes. That was definitely good.
Yes.
I
Steph and
forgot.
I literally just love answering each other. Yes, yes.
We love it. It's
Like-
great.
She's so cute. Skylar Davenport. You'll know as such characters as Fernicia from Sword Art Online Alicization, Lilith from Chain Chronicle, Shinatsu Hayase from Masamune-kun's Revenge, and everyone, Karen Jinro from Showman Sample.
Ah, fuck.
Some of you are not fans of Showman Sample, and I want to bring that up.
Why?
Just cuz.
Asshole.
Yes.
No.
Natalie Rose. You'll know as such performances as
Oh, that's a good performance. That's a good performance. A+.
That's an A+ performance that
Andrew, you're
Skylar
right there.
that Natalie gave.
I swallowed spit.
Oh my.
Oh no. Oh, give me a minute.
And now we have our clip for the episode. Thank you very much, ladies and gents.
No, why?
Because why not? I absolutely love this performance that Natalie Rose gave. It was her best. Oh, shit.
Give me a minute.
Drink
Oh.
water.
Oh damn it! I got spit on my computer. Shit.
At least it's not milk again.
I mean, I was gonna say something else.
Please and don't. Thank you.
I'll refrain from it. Andrew, you've corrupted me so badly. How dare you?
I love you. Okay. I think I'm good.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Natalie Rose has played such characters as Yoko from Sword Art Online, Tsukino from Show by Rock, Lily from Recovery of an MMO Junkie, and Sonia Nevermind from Danganronpa 3: The Despair Arc.
Sonia. I love Sonia.
Xanthi Wynn, you'll know as such characters as Momo Kawamoto from March Comes In Like a Lion, Ui Hirasawa from K-On!, Hidomi Hibajiri from Fooly Cooly Progressive, and Mako Honma, aka Menma from Anohana, the flower we saw that day.
I was wondering if you were going to talk about Menma. Oh, Menma. Sweet.
Menma
sweet
is a precious, precious girl. She has done nothing wrong in her entire life.
I only have one thing to say. I'm not ready yet.
Oh, Cheris, I will kick your ass. I will kick your entire ass.
You fucking bitch.
You know what, Jet? Since you're being fun, how about you start us off?
Okay, sure. Like, so similar to our previous section, I don't have a lot to say for like most of these. So I like Scholar and David Portazeko. Like Eiko is very cute and adorable. I was rooting for her to do her best. It's really kind of a shame she like never ever gets to interact with Iruma even once. She does get to talk to Asmodeus at least once or twice though, and like I appreciate that like they both just kind of like they both just kind of become.
She's talked to everybody but Iruma. Like she talks to Asmodeus and he gives her a death glare.
I appreciate that her and Asmodeus become friends over their like mutual admiration for Iruma.
No, yeah, that's what I was about to bring up, because here's the thing with Iruma-kun, you should never skip the ending, because they have a small little fun segment called Tsukima at the end, and it's basically like a little bonus clip, and the one that Jess referring to is Eiko wants to try and talk to Iruma. No, she wants to try and take a picture of him while he's eating. Asmodeus notices this, and he goes to just like give a death glare, and then she explains herself, and he's like, well, in that case... And they start chatting. Cute. It was great.
My favorite one is like she tries to get to know Professor Caligo for reasons. Mm-hmm. And she tries greeting him like, "Hey, Professor Caligo," and he just straight up gives her a death glare. What?
Yep.
Oh, it's so funny.
Eiko's doing her best.
She's doing her best.
Trying your best,
but yeah, I thought like Scholar Davenport did a really good job with her. Natalie Rose as Elizabeth, like Elizabeth sadly doesn't really have much to do aside from like be eye candy, I guess. But I thought Natalie did a pretty good job with her, and like, and I do appreciate that for like as much as she's like harassed by the banana owls, she does kind of casually dismiss him a lot. So I thought that was pretty funny.
And she steps on his face.
Yes.
It's great. She's like, no, I'm good. Walks away. I'm good, thank you.
Sarah and Williams as Osako is a lot of fun because Osako is a lot of fun. I guess I appreciate that this character specifically in the class hottie because it's just like, that's just an incredible punchline. It's beautiful.
It's such a good punchline. And they don't even, here's the thing, they don't even play it out as like an ill, gross kind of thing, or like Iruma's just like disgusted, or like here's the thing, she's also not even, she's not played as like a predator, like Jet, you're gonna kick my ass for this. Oh, no. She's not a canker sister.
Okay, that's fair.
And Eddie, ladies and gentlemen.
She's not a canker sister, and she's not forcing herself on unwilling participants. She's just kinda hot, and she's just a flirt.
Oh, you naughty wind.
Ugh.
Yeah, I definitely do appreciate, like, Sarah's just very exaggerated delivery of every single one of her lines.
Oh, it's so funny.
Where she's going to try to make it sound like as ridiculously flirty as possible, and it's just amazing.
It's just
so yeah, like I really just appreciate it. That's like in universe. It's just like, yeah, this is the class hottie, and it's just like, yeah, that's just the way it's treated in universe. Or whatever questions it, it's just the way it is.
She's just a babe. That's just the way it works. Moving on.
It's like, don't question it. Don't fucking question it. Or you stop. I know you're gonna question it. No. Move on. It's great.
I did think one of my favorite bits. There was like one bit where she's just like talking to the other girls, like Asmodeus like speeds past her.
Oh yes.
It's like zooming in for a second where it's like it looks like they're about to kiss, and then he just like casually flips her over and keeps walking.
Just like twirls, spins her like a
Pardon me,
so
and then
good.
she's just like, oh. Today's the anniversary.
It was so good.
Oh, she's so good.
But yeah, Sarah Ann Williams is a lot of fun. As for Every Win is Caribou, this one I actually do have notes for. Currently was kind of interesting in that I assumed based on her character design and prominence in the opening that she was going to be important, but like as the show went on and she kind of faded into the background, I had kind of forgotten about that. And
But that
and,
was
and
the
yes,
point!
it turns out that was in fact the joke.
That was the
That was the
actual
actual
point
point.
all
It's great.
along.
That was great.
Yep.
Yeah, so like once we get to see like Carolee's actual personality come out, Feed's performance simply livens up a lot. And I like that there was a very clear contrast between like how she sounded as Curly and how like more assertive and energetic she sounded as Skiraboo. And I thought that made that whole twist a lot more fun. And I liked it like how at first it just kind of seems like Carolee just sort of motivated by desire to show off how cute she is. But then we learned that she was just kind of like ignored by her family growing up, and Zeffy does a really good job of kind of sort of a lot of her frustration about that, but without like detracting too much from how lighthearted the show generally is. And I definitely do appreciate that like the whole bit in the end where she realizes her family cares about her after all. It's like,
Yeah.
It was so cute.
it's like, yeah, like they all show up to the concert. And it's like no, like we can't say we mean to embarrass to talk to her.
It was
Also,
we'd be too embarrassed, but also like if we get really worked up, we would get sick.
Yeah.
So we'll just cheer for her while we're at home, which was so cute.
They were social distancing before
Yep.
it was cool.
God damn it!
Oh,
Really, Andrew?
with a double putt too, apparently.
Yeah, I definitely gotta say the best part of her performance was probably just watching her bounce off of Iruma's actor and just like Carolee's constant anger and how much like Iruma could just like casually stand out was like pretty funny.
It was so good. Also, like, by the end, they actually had a really cute friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're so sweet. Oh, babies, I love you.
Did we mention that Andrew loves all of his demon children?
I will adopt all of these children if...
Oh no, there's one that I'm adopting, bitch. You leave him alone.
And as a final aside here, I will also say she has a pretty good singing voice. Like I enjoyed her.
Yeah,
doing
she
the whole
does.
bit.
She does, yes. Also, okay, there's no way to really naturally work this in. I brought this up in the chat earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So, she becomes a Dem doll because she's inspired watching a Dem doll because her granny showed her footage of a Dem doll.
I know where you're about to
I want
go
to
with
raise a
this.
conversation.
I know where you're about to go with this.
Was that Dem doll Clara's mom? Was that Clara's mom?
It's possible. It looks like it could
Yeah,
be.
it could be.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I was gonna say yes, and I was gonna say no because I realized her horns were missing, and like every kid in the phallic family has horns. And then I realized seeing Claire on stage, her horns were turned up. I was like, is that even possible? So maybe it could be, but right now it's plausible at the moment.
Look. Those kids did not come out of her knowing how to do show tunes, okay? They had to be taught.
Also fair.
They had to be taught how to do songs. Anyways, that's just a conversation I just wanted to start because it's like, you know what? That's one of those fun little things where it's like, if that turns out to be a thing later on, I will say I called it and be proud of myself.
It's like you rewatch it and you learn these little things, and it's like, oh, interesting.
Also, all four of these ladies, I just realized, canonically have a sexy rating.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right, they do. Because they all took like a succubus course, that's why.
They took a succubus course to do like seduction and all that. They were all ranked. Eiko has a reasonable 42%. Elizabetta has a 82%. Carolee has 51%.
But for
before it
reasons.
turns out, it's because she's wearing like what were they called
Detection
again?
warding glasses.
Detection warding glasses, which literally are meant exclusively to hide your presence. So basically, she's like at like a 95-100% level sexiness.
And then you have Dosanko.
Dosanko can't even be measured on the scouter.
well, not for TV broadcasts. So.
Dosanko is okay. Here's what it is. If you assuming you know some things about Dragon Ball Z, You know, every time they use a scouter when they measure something that can't be measured?
Is
and
this
it just
the over
breaks
9,000 moment here?
Sure. Yes. Dosanko's sexiness is over 9,000.
Fuck. That's great. Oh,
Anyways.
man. Dosanko as a character is just... It exists, and it is glorious.
But yes, Skylar's Eiko is just very sweet and adorable and precious, and she's doing her best, and I really like how she's just a bisexual disaster who's doing her best. Sarah Williams as Dosanko is just really, really funny, just really sexy, really overt, and great, which is really funny watching her do that in Susie Stolas, which is this really wispy, whimsical, sweet botanist lady. Yes. Also, there is exactly one scene where both Dosanko and Susie Stolas interact with each other. It is one line of dialogue that they speak to each other, and it's like, that's fun. I was amused by that. Natalie Rose has this really nice, whimsical, sensual voice to her, where she sounds kind of airheaded and unassuming, but she's just kind of sweet and, sensual, but also she will kick an ass of a stupid bird that tries to look up her skirt.
Fuck that man. Fuck that dude.
I'm mostly just surprised Natalie wound up in, a Bang Zoom dub, because okay. She used to live in California. For a bit, because she did stuff like Danganronpa and Sword Art and Magi. But then she moved to Dallas and then started getting Funimation roles. I assume she just straight up was visiting or doing a session at Bang Zoom and just kind of wound up being cast in Iruma-kun?
Yeah, she's definitely been in other Bang Zoom stuff. She was in Gargantua and the Virtuous Planet back in the day.
Like I said, she used to live in California and do stuff more regularly. I was just surprised she suddenly showed up. I wasn't sure if she had moved again, but I think she was just visiting, which it got a lot easier to do once the COVID stuff is happening.
Once the end of days fucking happened.
Once that happened, then it was just you could just record from your booth. And then Xanthi as Carolee is just, she's unassuming, she's sweet, but she's also kind of sassy and bratty too. And that's just so funny. It's so funny. She's got this level of shyness and cuteness that balances out. She's a very good singer. Also, I want to mention, I don't think if it was ever confirmed, but she is the voice of the protagonist in First Love Memories, too.
Is she?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, correction. I do not know for sure, but I am 90% confident.
But it sounds like
it sounds like Xanthi to me. Either way, but just speaking strictly as Carolee, she's really fun. She's a character I did not think I was going to like as much, but she's really cute, she's really funny, and she's got a really good singing voice. I quite liked. Alright, any other thoughts, gents and ladies?
Yeah. Skylar Davenport's Eiko, she's just trying her best, She kind of stands out a little bit, just trying to get Iruma's attention, but other than a couple roles, other than what I've heard from her in Luck and Logic, and from what little I remember of Showman Sample, and for good reason, she did very well playing cutesy in this role. Sarah Williams is Dosanko. Yeah, Dosanko's an oddball character to me, but it works. It's kind of, I'm still more used to Sarah as Susie, because I don't know.
Yes.
There's a weird dynamic with this casting, but hey, who might argue?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah. Let's see. Natalie Rose as Elizabeth X. It's interesting because this is one of the few tall characters we get to meet tonight. And Natalie's very charming and very unassuming, unless you kind of, I don't know, I guess you kind of piss her off like a certain owl does. She just turns down that owl every advance he puts out.
As she should.
Yes. But she does very well playing charming and interesting. Safi Wood as Carolee. It's kind of interesting because she uses the same voice as she does for Kuromu. And she doesn't really need. She doesn't differentiate between the two, but she doesn't really need to, especially when it comes to singing. Because one thing I noticed with her singing, she has the picture Jade Saxton, but the tone is on her own. And it was very unique to hear her sing on stage.
At the same time, though, because I know you said it seems distinct, we're used to Carolee as the wallflower, though, and her not talking much.
Yeah.
So Carolee doesn't really have a voice until we get to the episodes with Kermit.
Once we get to that episode, and I don't really listen to a lot of stuff with Safi, so this is kind of an interesting.
You should fix that. I can give you homework. She's good.
I.e.
She's
watch
very...
watch Anohana and cry like a bitch.
Anohana and or Makuya.
Yes.
AKA the Mario Kata homework session.
Yes, absolutely.
She's fantastic as both Makuya and Menma, which both are a level of, they're very different performances, but basically, like Menma...
They're both gut-wrenching.
Menma and Carolee are very similar in that they are very cute, precious, a little bit bratty at times, but, 10 out of 10 would protect.
Well...
I love all these girls, too.
I'm a place kind of full right now. Once I empty it, I'll try, but I make no promises. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
Alright, so with that, any other thoughts, or are we set to move on?
I don't really have a lot more to add outside of what you boys have already said. All I'm gonna say, TLDR, basically. Eiko, you precious cinnamon roll. You're doing your best, sweetie. Dosanko, god damn it.
Yeah.
I love you. You're a hottie that shouldn't exist, but in this world you do, and it's fan-fucking-tastic. Elizabetta, I would love to see more because she's adorable. And Carolee, I love Carolee. She can be very sassy. She's very much a sassy person, especially when we get to the Kurumu episodes in particular. It's great. But
I love watching her lose her mind when, she's
I was going to bring that up earlier. I think when Jet was talking about, Carolee. The scene where she basically freaks the fuck out on Iruma and then, overdoes it and makes herself sick. I was like, oh, this bitch, man. She's like, you don't want to stand out? That means you're not doing this on purpose? What does that mean for me? She gets so fucking angry.
That scene's great too, but I'm talking about before, okay, I actually forgot about this too. I love the fact that Iruma knows.
Yes.
He knew the entire time.
Yep.
And she's literally just basically freaking the fuck out, trying to hide it.
Yep.
And it's literally just okay, see you in class. Okay, bye. Wait, what?
Yeah.
It's you're not going anywhere.
And it's literally, it's because he's a human and not a demon. That's why the detection warding glasses didn't work. And B, he noticed the way she, pushes her thumbs
She holds her hands in fists, specifically.
And that's such a cute little detail. Nobody else would notice that. That's so precious.
It's oh yeah, and also, but I noticed that first. Oh yeah, and then by the way, the glasses and the planner and the eyes, and it's oh. And then it's she dug her own grave.
Oh, she dug her own grave. Bless her heart.
Yeah, but that's my TLDR version because you pretty much covered the same thoughts as I did.
Cool. Alright, so, we were talking about Iruma's friends earlier. It's time to talk about his dads. And the voice of God.
You can't say that one of them is not Iruma's new dad.
Look. Sullivan is... Okay, we are going to be talking about Sullivan, Opera, and because I'm not really sure where else to put him, the show's narrator, aka the voice of God, because this is a pretty prevalent narrator, actually.
Yep.
And I felt it was worth talking about. You cannot convince me that Opera and Sullivan aren't an item. Just saying.
I don't think they're an item, but you can't tell me that they're both not Iruma's dad.
I can see why you think that, Andrew, but yeah, no.
But I can't see Sullivan and Opera as a thing. I can see both of them being Iruma's dad.
Sullivan's old and rich with money. He goes if he goes like a decade or so younger, it's whatever.
Fucking hell.
That's the way it works when you're rich and old, I guess.
The whole decade and under thing, I feel like I'm called out, Andrew.
What?
Andrew, there's an age difference between us, remember?
I'm within the decade. Like,
Fuck you, though. I feel very called out right now. I'm dating a babby. You're 6 years younger than I am.
This is a thing. Okay,
You did it to yourself.
I did do it to myself. I'm going to turn this around. The point is, Opera and Sullivan. They are indeed, like, basically Iruma's primary caregivers. Opera is, I believe, technically Sullivan's servant.
Yes.
And Sullivan is pretty much one of the three greats of the Netherworld demon world. He kind of adopts Iruma.
And by
because
kind of, he bought Iruma.
He buys Iruma and brings him to the Netherworld because the other two greats have grandkids. And they brag about their grandkids, and he got so jealous of that, he's like, I'm gonna get my own kid.
It's so fucking good. I love that bit.
Like, they are basically the three most powerful demons that are basically next in line to be the Demon King, and they are just bragging about their grandkids, and it's so fucking precious. It's like, oh, that's so good. But yeah, Opera and Sullivan are basically Iruma's dads, and God, the scene where Iruma just straight up shows off his parents to his classmates, and he's just so proud of them, is the cutest, and Opera's so cute. Okay, I should talk about who plays these characters.
Yes,
Yes.
before you go into a tangent.
The point is, they're his dads. They are his dads. Iruma has two dads and is proud of both of them.
Yes, but who voices the dads?
Grandpa Sullivan is played by Kyle A. Bear. Opera is played by Brian Timothy Anderson. And the narrator, I got this one courtesy of Jalen himself from his AMA, is played by Kevin M. Connolly. Brian Timothy Anderson, you'll know as the performances I listed earlier, alongside Miss Laugh Shakes from Record of Grand Crest War. Just adding in another one in there. Kyle A. Bear has played Makoto Takei from Fruits Basket, Escanor from The Seven Deadly Sins, Kazuichi Soda from Danganronpa 3 Despair Arc, and the Golem from Somali and the Forest Spirit.
I need to watch Somali.
Yeah, shit, it's very cute.
And Kevin M. Connolly has played Castro from Hunter x Hunter 2011, Heathcliff from Sword Art Online, Pell from One Piece, and Kine Fury from Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. He's one of Mustang's guys. He's the one with glasses.
Oh, right. Okay. I remember you told me that a while ago.
So yeah, starting off, where do we even start off? Where do we start off?
Can we start off with the narrator, please? Because, so, a lot of narrator characters in recent shows, especially for comedic shows, have a very, very energetic tone to them.
Yeah.
This is a more subtle, energetic tone. It's a mix of, like, it's more subtle, but it also has dry humor to it, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. Because it's like, it's just nonchalant. He's just kind of like, oh yes, we forgot to mention, Iruma's parents are horrible people.
Yes, I just love the way
he basically
says
is like,
that.
Fuck
he got sold
Iruma's
by
parents.
Iruma's garbage parents.
Fuck them.
No, but the nonchalant way that Kevin delivers that, as well as fun little facts where it's like, as stated before, Iruma cannot say no to anyone.
Let's rewind the clock a little bit to see what
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of I love the delivery of Kevin so much because it's very nonchalant and very casual, and it's blunt, but it also has a mix of dry humor to it. Like, I love it so much. It's probably one of my favorite more narrator performances, because a lot of other narrators, specifically for comedic shows, can sometimes be, like, very hammy and chewing the scenery, which is fine. But for a show like this, where you already have a bunch of performances that are just very energetic and over the top, that having a more like subtle performance like this like adds a lot more of a dynamic to the show, and I think it's a lot better with this kind of performance, honestly.
That's right, Iruma. You do, in fact, fit right in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Kevin, the narrator was something I started focusing on a lot more in the rewatch, just because it's like, yeah, he's got this level of, like, dry, sarcastic, he's sassy. He's sassy.
So sassy. It's amazing. I love it.
It's pretty fun, yeah. It's also just like, yeah, Kevin Connolly is not a voice. He is somebody who's been around for a while, but we really don't get to talk about that much. But I think he does a really stellar job as the show's narrator.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I will agree with Steph, because that subtle tone, because I think the whole thing about the narrator is that you kind of don't want to overshadow what goes on with the show, so he takes the subtle tone, but also half the time I forgot he was there, because you really hear him in the intro the most up until episode 17 or so, when they removed that altogether.
Yeah.
And so,
And then he just has these little one-liners here.
He'll
and
pop
there.
in every now and then.
It's great. It's a fun little moment where it's like you break the fourth wall and you acknowledge this or remind the audience that in fact Iruma does not know how to say no.
Also, even he believes in Eiko. He just says, episode 1, you can do it, Eiko.
Yes.
yeah, it's like he gives you an explanation before you ask, let alone even think about it, so.
Yep. It's a fun dynamic. It's a fun little addition to the show, and it's delivered so well. I love every second of that.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. I guess for opera, like, I wasn't like super familiar with Bryan Anderson, but I definitely liked him here. Yeah, like opera's kind of on the stoic side, so like it was kind of hard to get rid of him initially. Like, especially like the first few episodes where you can't kind of tell if he likes Iruma or just kind of like secretly wants to be rid of him, and he's just kind of trying his best to hide it. And I feel like,
And then it's clear that's just his way of showing tough love, and then it's just actual love.
Yes.
so, yeah, and I appreciate like Bryan played it well enough in the beginning that like either interpretation could work, but yeah, but towards the end of the show, it's like he definitely likes Iruma in his own way.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
He also might have some history with Caligo.
Yeah, cause
Maybe.
cause that scene where Caligo just goes to for whoever's winning prizes at the conference.
Whoever's winning all the prizes from the kids.
yeah, because Sullivan
he takes
wasn't
one
in the
look at opera.
Sullivan wasn't
and
in
is
the
like,
shot. I forgot.
Yeah, Sullivan.
And then he's like, I am not paid enough for this. I'm out. There's
I
something
mean,
going on.
I mean, it could be one or the other, or it could be both. We don't know yet.
No,
But-
yeah, opera is so much fun. Like Jet said, it's hard to tell at first because he does have a stoic performance to it, and then it's specifically the episodes with the Explosion Cannonball game where you kind of get to know opera a little bit more. The stoicism is still there, but then like once you kind of know his little quirks and you figure out how to read him a little bit more, it's like this man is precious.
Kind of like Iruma's reading him, where it's like, when his kitty ears are down, he's in a sad mood. When his kitty ears are up, he's in a good mood.
So
I definitely did like that whole cannonball thing where he's clearly just like where he's clearly kind of annoyed at Sullivan, kind of potting up on him because he's too lazy to do it himself. But he is taking it very seriously, even if he is like extremely ruthless in how he trains Iruma and how he does it.
But he's effective.
Yeah.
And like Iruma was actually like super appreciative of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then they were like, Iruma was like thanking him with like a really cute like high 10 or something. And Sullivan's like, no fair. Why is he giving him praise? Wait, I didn't do anything. It's like, yeah, you told me to, you idiot.
Yeah.
No, I also love how after the Explosion Cannonball thing, you still get little moments where opera is essentially bonding with Iruma. Specifically when Sullivan's ass gets arrested.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're just playing video games together?
I think
It was so
It's so
adorable.
cute.
yeah, I think those two moments were a turning point for me in the opera, opera going into his own as a character, because
Yes.
because you understand that he's more than just a servant, you know.
Right.
He's got something going on.
There has to be something more to him in general, but obviously we haven't gotten to that yet.
Which I can understand why you would think he's Sullivan kind of an anime manager, because every time Sullivan does something really obscene or stupid, he just kind of shoots him down. I mean, hell, even at one point, he drinks his Hell Grey tea in the morning.
Yes, because he was giving Iruma last-minute advice before Explosion Cannonball. He's drinking the tea and Sullivan's like, I thought that was for me.
Yeah,
Hey God, there was a specific. I think there was a specific line he said at that moment.
It was about turning your fear into
excitement,
boldness, excitement, and being bold. Something like that.
I also love how he calls it a life hack.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to remember, because
the other thing I forgot I wrote down here is when he's kind of starting out his lessons with Iruma and he's being rough. He just says very quaintly, "Oh, this pains me so."
Yeah. No, I remember back to the writing, I thought there was going to be some dissent with a certain lines, like Yeet, for example. And I could not for the life of me remember life hack for some reason.
I forgot said that too, and then you mentioned it. Like, there, again, this script on any normal circumstance would bother me with some, like, modern slang and stuff, but it actually works given the moments
it works
that it's
for
used
this show.
for.
And I enjoyed it. And also, opera is... I think we will see a lot more of opera in the future. Remember that popularity poll I was telling you about?
Oh, yes.
So guess what?
Number one?
Andrew told
Opera's
me about
number
this before.
3.
Andrew told me about this before.
Opera ranked ahead of Clara.
Wow.
Because 1 and 2, I think, were, you said Iruma and Asmodeus, right?
Yes. So yeah, if that probably means Opera's gonna get some good fun stuff in the future, and I can't wait to hear more of Brian Anderson as it, because he's got this very dry wit snark to him that's just precious, but he does a good job emoting just enough and letting those actual feelings come out just enough that it works.
Yes.
And God, yeah, no, just him bonding with Iruma and playing video games is so cute.
So precious, I love it.
Yeah.
I want more of that.
Also, I actually thought that Opera was gonna be related to Ameri.
I can see why you'd think that, but here's the thing.
I can see that too, but...
Here's the thing. The things on her head, those are just actually tufts to her, whereas Opera, those are actually kitty ears. So,
is that the difference?
Well, one of the major differences,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a slightly different shade of red, but okay, I didn't realize her things were actually just tufts of hair.
Huh.
Yeah.
Opera just has 4 kitty ears. And let's talk about Kyle Bear Sullivan.
God, it's the actual best.
He said, I'm gonna be honest. Like when I watched episode 1 of the dub for the first time, like this was maybe the casting choice that kind of like scratched my head a little bit at first. Like the main reason being I was like keeping up with Crunchyroll simul-dubs for a while. And, like, Kyle Hebert was, like, in the background and a lot of, like, the Studiopolis stuff they were doing. So when I first heard Kyle Hebert, I was like, oh, okay, it's Kyle Hebert again. Like, all right, let's see what he does here. So I wasn't, like, totally sure how I was going to feel about it for the first couple of episodes. But then after a while, I, like, really got into it, and I thought it was a lot of fun, and I definitely got a lot more out of it when I, like, went to rewatch the show a few weeks ago. And, yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun.
It's like I know Kyle can do some comedy stuff.
He takes the scenery and chews it to pieces, and it's the best.
Oh my god! Like it's kooky. It's funny. It like he can be very serious and stern, and that's more like what I'm used to Kyle. But he can be really like, how do I describe it? Okay, so
it's like that very stereotypical like Kylie grandpa voice.
It's basically just it's a grandpa talking to, like, a baby or, like, a puppy. It's like that level of, like, high-pitched, yay, I'm so excited.
My grandson! Like, I like, because he gets to actually play with his range a little bit with with the two sides that Sullivan has, which is, of course, the, yay, my grandson, Iruma, he's so precious, like, the fun, kooky, like, cheery, hammy one, and then you have, obviously, the full fucking fledged demon side, where it's lower register, That tone of voice reminds me of another character he's done. Shit. You mentioned it when you were talking about his credits.
Escanor.
Yes, it reminded me of Escanor. 100%.
This is like a goofier Escanor.
Yes.
It's kind of a similar deal, actually. Because it's the fact that he's kind of wimpy and goofy and unassuming, but he's also like the strongest, baddest motherfucker in the world.
True.
And if you piss him off,
you're done,
he will
son.
wreck your shit.
You are done, son.
Yeah.
Like when he's literally just walking out of his cell, it's like he stayed there because he just was humoring them.
Yeah.
Like if he really wanted to get out there, he
will.
You will not stop him.
No, but like seriously, this is one of the more hammy and fun performances I think from the whole show. And I think, and Kyle just nails it. Like, I can agree with Jet a little bit that it might have taken an episode or two to kind of adjust to it. Like, when I was first watching this with Andrew, and he was doing this whole thing as like, I need you to guess who these actors are who are playing these characters. I looked at Sullivan, and I'm like, this one is familiar to me. And then after I heard it for like another maybe another minute or so, I'm like, that's Kyle Hebert, isn't it? He's like, how'd you get that? I'm like, I've heard enough Kyle Hebert to know.
He did better than I did.
Hebert,
So.
Kyle's been around the block.
He's been around the block a time or two.
God, like 20 plus years now?
Maybe, yeah. Like, he's been around for a while. 100%. But, God. Oh, my grandson, Iruma. Do you want to take the carriage today to school?
I think one of my favorite bits of him is the bit where he's in prison and he's calling opera and he's just and he's like, oh, but make sure
Make sure he doesn't miss me too much. Oh, he's playing video games.
What? And it's like, oh, he's playing video games. Oh, but make sure he has all his milk before bed. Make sure he doesn't stay up too late. So it's like,
make sure he gets a bedtime story. He was like, that scene that you described is 100% grandpa right there, and it's fantastic.
Oh, you know what it is? Opera's the cool dad. Opera's the one that lets him stay up a little longer and is like, yo, you want some candy?
Yeah.
Sullivan, I think, is similar to the doting mom or the doting dad kind of thing.
Extra doting.
Extra doting. And just brief shout out, the scene that Sullivan has with the other two greats, one of which is Rachel Robinson. I don't know who the other one is.
Jed, I think you thought it was...
Yeah, it was definitely Steve Kramer who found it out.
Okay. That dynamic between the three of them and showing off their grandkids was great, because usually, because we said this before, Sullivan basically bought Iruma because these two wouldn't shut up about their grandkids, and then they're like, well, Sullivan, guess you have to be the impartial vote on this one, and Sullivan's just sitting there, the Gendo pose.
And he just pulls out the photos.
He's sitting there, the Gendo pose, he's like, not today!
Yep.
This is my grandchild, and it's great.
And they're pissed. It's like, hey, you skipped being a parent. That's cheating. You don't get to enjoy grandkids until you're a parent.
Yeah. I think I don't know. One of them literally said wait, did you abduct someone? And he's just like, well, I can't confirm or deny anything.
I will not confirm nor deny it.
Oh boy.
And then he gets arrested by Ameri's dad.
Not even a minute later, he gets arrested by Ameri's dad. It was great. No, Sullivan 100% is such a fun character, and it's so cheesy. It's not too over the top. It's just the right amount, I think. And it just works so well. Shit, I love it.
Oh, it's so good. You pretty much got all the stuff. Just Kyle's so goofy, and he's just having a ball as Sullivan.
Oh,
it is very Escanor.
Yes.
It's very Escanor the more I sit on it.
Yeah, 100%. Especially
it's
the lower,
Escanor with a
especially
little
the lower
more
tone.
baby talk.
The lower tone is for sure is definitely Escanor to me. The doting grandpa one, not so much, but
it's like a chibi. It's like a chibi Muppet. It's great.
What?
That's what we're calling it. A
No,
chibi
look,
Muppet?
like his cartoony
Oh,
self.
that-
He looks like a little egg. He looks like a little egg Muppet.
Oh my god. Shit.
Oh god. Oh, this is a fun one.
Oh god.
All right. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I gotta move
Oh
on.
good.
All right. We all good. Point is, Bryan Anderson is very stoic, but he's got a lot of charm to him, and he really grew on me a lot as Opera. Kyle Bear is delightfully, deliciously hammy, and Kevin Connolly's got this nice level of like stoic snark to him that he really grew on me as a narrator.
10 out of 10. Kyle Bear Grandpa's real good.
Yeah.
Kyle Bear Grandpa's real good.
Best grandpa.
All right, so let's talk a little more friendly antagonism now.
My son.
So let's talk about actual good boy has never done anything bad in his entire
My
life.
son.
And also Kirio Ami.
Fuck. Fuck you.
Wow.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that turn. No. It's Kirio Ami and the most underpaid, can't deal with your horse shit professor you have ever met.
Okay, there's a joke I want to make here, but I want to probably like after we start talking about the characters.
Save it for. I know what you want to say. I think I'm probably gonna make it too. If you don't, let's introduce these characters first. Let's talk about Naberius Caligo and Kirio Ami. Naberius Caligo is a teacher. He is an academia. He is done with everybody's shit. He does not care for Sullivan shenanigans. He does not care for anybody attacking teachers on the first day. He does not care for loud, obnoxious brats, and he does not care for Iruma. During the summoning of familiars, because basically everybody on their first day summons a familiar that becomes like bonded to their soul for like a full year. Because they're demons, they summon different servants. But Iruma, as a human, uses Caligo's seal. And summons him. And becomes his familiar.
And is the most floofy, cute familiar.
He is a fluffy bird.
And he fucking hates it.
He's an angry bird.
Shit.
But yes, he is very antagonistic and does not care for him, but he is a good teacher.
He is.
He's harsh, but he's good at what he does.
Yes.
He even becomes the temporary chair demon, or the Cherigo, as Professor Robin coined.
God damn it.
For a while
Caligo does not want to deal with Robin's shit.
While Sullivan's in jail. And then there's Kirio Ami. He is a senior. He is the same rank as Iruma as a first year by that point. He has little magic. He coughs up blood. He's a very shy, unassuming boy. And then it turns out he's secretly working with somebody else to try and secretly blow up Babylinth during the battle party. He's got a bit of a dark side.
A bit?
Oh, Jesus.
I'll say this. He's got layers to him. And also, boy, does he do the evil villain thing where he does the Sosuke Aizen, where he combs his hair back and looks like a completely different evil guy.
I fucking hate you now that you said that. God.
I didn't realize what it was, but I'm like, God, that's just the Sosuke eyes. It's the glasses, too. Fuck.
hate you now. Why?
Oh, this is her.
And now I'm just thinking, like, boy, it's a really good thing they didn't cast Kyle here.
Oh, God, yeah, no. I don't care for Sosuke Aizen, but I don't care for Sosuke Aizen.
I share a birthday with that motherfucker.
Rip and piss.
Okay, Andrew, you can't say that. He survived.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Just because you are correct doesn't mean you have a right to talk. For those who are new here, I don't care for Bleach or Sosuke Aizen. Anyways, let's talk about who plays these two characters. Naberius Caligo is played by D.C. Douglas, and Kirio Ami is played by Alex Lee. D.C. Douglas has played such characters as Suguru Kamoshida in Persona 5 The Animation, Shoot McMahon from Hunter x Hunter 2011, X-Drake from One Piece, Kirschner from Sirius the Jaeger, and Yoshikage, I Just Wanted to Live a Quiet Life, Kira, from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable.
I still need to watch Diamond is Unbreakable. I need to finish part 3, actually. I jumped from part 3 to Golden Wind. How do I do that?
Alex Lee has played such characters and performances as Kido from Cagister of an Insect Cage, Lilpalin from Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld, Zenitsu Agamatsu from Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba,
Zenitsu.
Anos Voldigode from the Misfit of Demon King Academy, and Kazuya Kinoshita from Rent a Girlfriend.
Oh, there's one other role. I know we can't talk about it because we want to do.
I'm not talking about it yet, but if you know, let's just say, if you know, you're already craving.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so before we begin talking about Caligo, I would like to make the following joke.
Oh God,
Alright.
please do it. Just do it.
Just do it. I know it.
The Virgin Server Snape, a simp, is totally fine with the students at his dorm being labeled as sociopaths. Works for a Nazi cult. Literally tried to help kill a baby so he could get a woman that didn't love him. The Chad Naburius Caligo. This
The Chad Calico! Say it!
dislikes all of his students equally, doesn't want to be put in charge of anything and would rather be left alone. Constantly annoyed with everything,
no.
turns into a floofy floof.
Turns into a floofy floof! Say what you will. Like, seriously, Severus Snape. He abuses his student because he wanted to fuck his mom, betrayed them, and then also just, like, was a simp. Straight up was a simp for years.
Oh my God.
Calico hates everybody. He hates everybody. He's also an adorable plushie. Say what you will about Severus Snape. He's not a plushie. So, objectively speaking, Naburius Calico is the better Severus Snape.
I thought you were gonna make an Aizawa crack. I didn't expect Severus Snape. Fuck.
I was expecting it, I saw a crack.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Fuck you.
Say it louder for the transphobes in the back. Say it loud. Say it proud. Say it for the world to hear. Naburius Calico fucking rules.
Fuck you, Jet. Jet. I'm dying. Oh no. Oh god damn it.
Alright, so before we talk about Kirio, we should talk about Calico.
Yes, he is, again, he deals with so much shit, is the most underpaid person, fucking hates Sullivan. I love Calico, I can't stop laughing.
Calico exudes the energy that he is just like, he's like 1 to 2 years away from tenure, but not quite there yet.
Yes, he's done with all the bullshit.
I see Albert Wesker
God.
went to hell and became a teacher.
Pretty much.
Oh god.
I loved him as like Kira JoJo's. I'm always down for hearing him do stuff. He was really fun. Like DC Douglas has always been like really good at playing very snooty characters, and like at first you just kind of think you look at Calico and you think, oh okay, this is like a very arrogant snob who wants to put Iruma in his place for standing out. And, like, DC definitely gives, like, that kind of ego across at first. Which definitely makes things all the funnier when he gets turned into Iruma's, like, very floofy familiar.
Yes.
I mean, but we see with time that with Calico, it's less that he has a lot of attitude because he's, like, really conniving. And more that, again, he's just, like, that teacher who's, like, maybe a few years away from retirement or tenure. And he's just, like, way too tired to put up with anything anymore.
Yep.
Like, you can just tell he would really rather not be involved in, like, half of the stuff his students get involved in. And he's just constantly doing how, like, silly his colleagues are. Like, especially Robin and Sullivan, who he just really has an axe to grind with.
Okay, okay, let's put it like this. Robin and Calico is basically the someone will die of fun dynamic.
Not wrong. Not wrong. But
And look, if you want to ship Calico with either Robin or that one cute teacher lady who thinks he's very fluffy, like, more power to you.
oh my god. Can I just say, to kind of add on top of what Jet's saying, I also appreciate first of all, DC Douglas is fantastic as Calico.
Yep.
And not just because he's very, like, he can be very intense and just, like, done with your horse shit. He actually does care. in his own way, because like remember and we also kind of he also kind of develops, I think, at least somewhat of a respect for Iruma as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because when, speaking of Robin, when we're introduced to Robin in the familiar class, Iruma has to summon Caligo, like, because of class. And then Caligo has to be put through a bunch of shit because Robin is the only person who does not know Caligo is Iruma's familiar, so nobody fucking tells him because it's funny.
Oh, and I love in the background of that scene, all the other students are busting his balls about it. It's like, hey, familiar teach, how you look, how you doing?
They're busting Robin's balls? I didn't know that.
Fucking hell.
God.
But I think the moments where DC Douglas has to convey a mutual respect, I think, are some of my favorite moments, because in that same episode, he's like, why didn't you summon me when you had to deal with that giant guardian of Cutthroat Valley? And Iruma's like, I didn't want to put you in harm's way.
I thought you or the guardian would get hurt.
I thought you or the guardian would get hurt. And it turns out that we kind of learn, what was it exactly that frickin' Caligo gets pissy about with Sabro and Asmodeus? It was something... It's that they were basically waving their familiars around, not paying attention to their surroundings because they wanted to be cool and macho. And then he's like, you fucking idiots, you might be fine. The people around you are still in danger because these are dangerous beasts and not toys, you idiots. Yep. So, it's little moments like that where it gives a little bit... It gives you more of a dynamic for Caligo, is more than just the grumpy teacher who's done with your horseshit. And then another moment too was when during the Battler Awards, where Iruma's Battler gets the new Tricky Award and Caligo
gets a new rank. I actually wrote down the line he said, if you want me to say it.
Do it, because it's really good.
It's that specifically he's like saying like, "Why you stupid idiots? You're putting yourself in harm's way all the time." And he's like, "I didn't want to be a bother." And he's like, "Hey, learn to rely on your teachers more, moron." Yep. And it's like, "Oh, you do care." Yep. That's great.
Because while the majority of the show, Caligo is an angry person who just wants to get through the day, doesn't want any shit to deal with. At the end of the day, he still cares about his students, and he still respects them to a degree. So, Caligo's a fun and interesting character, I think, in that regard.
And God, DC just plays him with he's so funny, he's so snarky, he's so done. He's got these really... He's got these really funny quips. Like, one of my favorite moments where it's like... Basically, Sabro and Iruma are in trouble, and Clara's pelting them with rocks. Yes. And he's like, this is your punishment now, being pelted with tiny rocks.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to say out of related note. I still just think, like, the casting here is hilarious because I saw someone mention it before. But it really is hilarious just knowing that, like, DC plays Kira and JoJo, and then, like, Japanese...
Yes, I forgot to mention that.
Yes, Japanese Caligo is Jotaro.
Oh, wait, yeah. Caligo is also Jotaro in the Japanese?
Daisuke Ono is Caligo in Japanese.
That explains so fucking much. That explains so much.
Jotaro in the sub, Kira in the dub.
Oh, shit.
But God, no, DC Douglas is so good. So, Jamal, any quick Calico thoughts before we talk about...
My son.
Her son.
Pretty much Caligo's fed up. I mean, yeah, he does command mutual respect eventually. Except for Robin Boss, because I know one scene, it looked like he twisted his neck, but,
I forgot. He's literally like, if you call me Chair Demon again, I will throat punch you.
Yes.
I think he actually might have did, but the camera pans away, so...
Oh, he totally did.
He totally fucking did. Caligo is not dealing with Robin's horseshit.
Which, fun fact, by the way, Professor Robin is Griffin Burns.
Yes.
Hello, this is Doppio.
Hello, this is Jintan.
Fuck.
You're welcome.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So, let's talk about Kirio.
My son. My rebellious son. God. Fuck.
So how did the process of adopting this child go for
Oh,
you,
shit.
Steph?
Okay. Oh, fuck. So, when I was first watching this show, I was marathoning it with Andrew originally, and when Kirio was first introduced, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, this boy, I like this boy. He's precious. He's so cute. He's sweet. And then after like maybe the end of episode 13, I'm just like, Andrew, I think this is my demon son now. He just looks at me. He just gives me a grin. He's like, okay. I'm like, I swear to God, if you tell me that this boy is evil, I'm gonna kill you. He's like, I'm not telling you anything. And then, going into episode 14, I'm like, Kirio, he's so precious. He's such a sweet boy. My son. The end of episode 14. When we get the reveal before the end credits, and we learn that Kirio is a bad boy, I'm looking at Andrew, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
It's like the Price is Rice horn. Do 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 do.
Fuck. But I look at him, and it took me a minute to process, because 14 I think was the last episode before, because the show was still on break at the time, and I had to process it a little bit. And again, I look at Andrew, maybe like giving me like 5 minutes to process. And I'm like, you know what? He's still my son. I do have to have a rebellious child among my children, right?
There are women I know who see like evil trash gremlin piece of shit boys, and it's like baby boy.
This is mine, clearly.
You owe yourself at least a couple.
I'm allowed at least one rebellious son. All right, but
like, let's face it, Megan has claimed ownership to Octagawa, like heart, mind, body, and soul.
Octagawa and Atsushi, but you know, it's fine. But I think another part of why I love this character a lot and why he is my son is actually Alex's performance of it. Because this is more of a softer tone Zenitsu. Like, when Andrew was asking me, like, who do you think voices Kirio? I'm like, it only took me like 2 seconds. Because I think Demon Slayer was finishing airing at the time on Toonami, I think.
It's funny you say that, because I actually couldn't tell who it was for a hot second. Like, I definitely, like, heard Alex Lee do his author votes before. But I couldn't tell right away who it was for a second. I thought, like, okay, maybe it's Utsuda or something.
Like, it took me a second, but then, like, I heard some vocal tics that were distinct for Alex's performance as Zenitsu, and I was like, oh, this is Alex Lee, isn't it? And he's just like, oh, wow, I didn't think you'd get it on the first try. I'm like, yeah, I got this. Yeah, there are some vocal tics that Alex Lee has that I was able to connect the dots between him and Zenitsu. And it's funny that I say that, considering another character that he plays, which is completely different, and we're not talking about right now. Andrew and I started that show, I think, weeks ago, and I could hear some of those vocal tics still. It's, like, some actors, in my mind, have specific little vocal tics that they have, and it helps me recognize them much more easily. I think, in the case of Alex, it's some of the tone, it's some of the, moments where he gives a bit more energy and has a slight twist in the voice where it's like it's hard to describe it without me watching and having an example, but that made me recognize it. But no, Kirio is Alex's performance, I think, is one of the main reasons why I love this character so much, because he's just soft and it's very subtle and he's just very precious. But then when you find out he's a bad boy, like, the subtlety is still there. But then you have his confrontation with Iruma.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to preface this. When I was watching this with Steph, I was watching this relatively blind too, because we were caught up and watching it together.
Right, before the production kicked back in and they were releasing.
That's how dedicated I was. I waited to watch it with you.
Even though he wanted to watch it very badly.
I wanted to watch it so bad. Like I figured, okay, they've been foreshadowing it. They've been foreshadowing it. Okay, he's a bad boy, but he's got a sad past.
Yeah.
Something set him on the wrong path. He might have a path to redemption, depending on what they do with the story.
I kind of was hoping that too.
That's
in the
where I
back
thought
of
it was
my mind.
going.
And then, like, when he confronts Iruma, he tells his story to him. And then this is basically a male version of fucking Junko Enoshima.
Yeah, that.
Okay, the fact that he's like, yo, I saw her face contort in despair,
Yes.
and it got me excited. I'm like, whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa, I did not see that
Yeah.
coming.
Is it-
Actually,
yeah, like
that actually took me. That actually took
Listen,
me aback. I'm like,
Yeah, I have to
holy
say, like,
shit.
that is an incredible punchline. They spent episodes building that up, and then, like, surprise.
They spent episodes building up sad boy backstory.
And then all of a sudden it's
no.
like,
Then you find
like
out.
Kirio gets
Oh.
off on Kirio basically like gets off on fucking Despair City.
You,
It's
you
like,
find out
oh,
sad
fuck.
boy is masochist boy, really.
Oh,
He was
fuck,
a full-on
100%.
sadist, like, legit. The episode 18 may as well have been a Danganronpa finale with how many times they were dropping hope and despair.
Yes.
And it doesn't help that Iruma has a fucking hairpiece like Makoto.
So
Oh yeah, the cowlick.
He's got the
Aho gay.
ahoge. Ahoge. Thank you.
Aside,
Thank you for correcting me. I almost said ahegao.
and you still said it
Thank you.
anyway.
No, but
gotta know.
but like it was that fun little twist because it's all of a sudden goes from very very soft, subtle, soft-spoken boy to like he's getting off on this shit. And
Here's what
and
it is. It literally... okay,
and I
sorry,
also
continue.
love as he's still talking to Iruma, and Iruma, you don't see his face because he's trying to process everything. Just like he's Kirio is monologuing, and then like you sometimes get like cower. It's like, oh Jesus Christ.
Cower. I'm like, oh god.
Cower in fear. I'm like, oh shit, Alex, where are we going with this?
This is,
legit.
like... I actually just want to, like, preface this with something because, like, I had actually, like, kept up with this show in Japanese. And, like, when I was, like... And when I got to this point in Japanese, I have to admit, like, I was actually kind of let down by, I think it was, Ryuta Osaka's performance with this.
Really?
When it got to the whole twist with Kirio, because I actually thought he didn't really do a very good job of like showing a distinction between like Kirio being dorky and like Kirio being like a sadist. Like it sounded like almost exactly the same for some reason. And so I definitely appreciate with Alex there's like a very clear contrast between those two sides.
Oh, that
So you
that
actually
is
think
it's
that Alex does a lot more
It
with
is
it.
so clear. That contrast is 100% clear. The intention is made very clear. And
They're
oh,
basically different characters by that
Yes.
point. And Alex plays them both almost effortlessly,
Yes.
it seems like. And like, God, if there is one thing I've gotten from 2020, Alex Lee is stupid fucking talented.
Yes.
Yeah, he definitely has quite a vocal range, I'll say that.
Oh boy.
He's got a insane vocal
Oh
range.
boy. Like going from this and Zenitsu to another show.
Another show, and then even like Misfit Academy, like his voice there is like it is literally on some Ray Chase stuff, and it's pretty nuts.
You say Ray
insane.
Chase, his character, Demon King Academy, sounds just like a KG Tang role, and it's so crazy. He can do it. He's so good. Like, but yeah, no. Alex as Kirio. He's a sweet, quiet, cute boy who's a secret spicy sadist.
Yes.
Yeah.
he is a spicy boy.
I'm just glad he's
But,
smothered
oh
instead
god,
of screaming.
just the evil despair monologue is some Danganronpa shit, and I love it so much.
Hold on,
It's so good.
Jamal, what did you just say?
I'm just glad he's moaning instead of screaming at that point.
Oh god, oh god. Look, if you want to talk about the turn of Kirio is a full-on, like, textbook definition. Your daughter will be home by 9. Your daughter's calling me dead.
Yes,
exactly.
It's funny you mention that because, like, If there's one thing I really kind of liked about the performance, and it's like at the very end, like after he got quote unquote defeated by Iruma, like instead of sounding like really angry about it, I like that Alex's performance. He just sounds like a kid who was really mad his game got ruined.
He literally just kind of sounds like his toys got like he got told to stop playing, and now he
was mildly chill about it, but then he also he also mentioned like, my look of despair wasn't half bad. And then the teachers are looking like, the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, hey, your looks of despair look pretty good too.
But yeah, no, it's just like he literally spent this whole show thinking, God, you and me are so alike, Iruma, and it's like, oh,
we're not.
We're nothing alike at all.
It was so good.
And it's like, oh, that's such a good like way of defeat. It's like he completely defeats him, and it's so good.
It's so good. I loved it so much. Like,
anyways, you. Congratulations to Alex Lee for playing this. He plays Kirio so good.
Congrats to Alex Lee. You are been adopted as one of my children.
And to Kirio, go stay in timeout for a while.
Yes.
Once you do some good deeds for a bit, maybe you can come
Yeah.
back.
Kirio, son, you're grounded.
I mean, we do
That's
see
fair.
you behind bars in the last episode, so.
Yep.
As
But
he
I'm
should
just
be.
wondering in the episode he gets arrested. He says to tell him, I'll see you. I'm just wondering, is the foreshadowing maybe he shows up in the next season? I don't know. Like,
Oh, he's probably gonna pop up again at some point.
Considering who he's working with, it's pretty strong possibility, I would say.
All right. So, are we all good to move
Yeah.
on?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Let's
I'm sorry, Kirio. I love you, but you're grounded.
But yes, DC Douglas and Alex Lee, y'all are stupid talented. You did a damn good job. Let's move on and talk about.
Oh God.
Oh God. Okay, this is gonna be fun.
Do not say his nickname. I need to give the nickname, please and thank you. This was my thing.
Okay, let's talk about Student Council President Ameri Azazeel and oh God, how do I even? Let's talk about
Sabro.
Sabro. Ameri Azazeel is the Student Council President. She's only a second year, so that's impressive for her title. She is strong. She is commanding. She is authoritative.
she is tall.
She is tall. She's very tall. She's very pretty. She's very cute. She's very stern. Also, she secretly loves shoujo manga, but she doesn't know it.
She's curious. No, in her mind, she's curious about what's called the forbidden text.
The forbidden text. Also, man, you want to talk a good punchline? The reveal of the forbidden contraband text, and then it's, my name is Rin Hoshino. I'm a high schooler girl traveling to school. Ba-da-ba-dump, ba-da-ba-dump. I'm like, oh, that's such a good punchline. This is a really funny show too.
It is.
But it also, like, she bonds with Iruma because it turns out, oh, he can read the forbidden text. And even though she suspects that he might be human after all, it's like, wait, he can read it? What does this word say? What does this one say? What
is this? Fireworks? Oh, man.
And then they start having snacks and tea together while Iruma reads her first love memories.
Yes.
And they have a pretty fun relationship together. And then there's Sabro Saguro, who's also in the Misfit class because he fought a teacher. And he's an asshole. But he's so... Oh god, he wants to prove himself to be a Demon King, like, so hard. To the point that he's kind of stupid and puts others in danger.
He's all brawn, but no brain. And
then it turns out he does come to respect Iruma as an actual combative rival. And they have a pretty healthy...
he's basically...
They have an actually healthy rivalry
he's
together.
basically just like, okay, here's like a textbook example of like the good jock.
Yes, it really is.
What if Bakugo studied Shakespeare?
No, I don't see it.
Nah.
I don't see it.
A little bit.
No, not even a little.
Like, okay, he's not as big as Bakugo was in the beginning.
He's not as mean. I don't know how to describe it, but he's big. He's a big, beefy boy.
Yes, he's a big, beefy boy. And
these are very big, tall demons where it's like, yeah, you'd climb that like a tree.
And Clara does climb him like
Yeah.
a tree.
Literally, She climbs him like a tree, but not in the way I was implying.
No,
she
like
literally
she just legitimately climbs him like a tree.
She measures his height. She basically like bites his tail. They actually have a really cute like big brother big sister relationship.
Sabnok just doesn't give a shit. He ignores it. It's great.
All right, let's talk about who plays these two.
Okay.
Ameri Azazeel is played by Kira Buckland, and Sabnok Sabro is played by none other than Ray Chase.
Ah, yes.
So, Kira Buckland has played such characters as Mary Saotome from Kakegurui, Beatrice from ReZero, Chris from Konosuba, Izumo Kamiki from Blue Exorcist, and Reimi Sugimoto from JoJo Diamond is Unbreakable. Funny enough, she's she was the one who faced off against DC Douglas.
So a tale of two
funny.
Kiras then.
Ah, fuck.
You get that one.
I'll let you have
that's a
that
good
one.
That's a good one. I can't even be mad.
I can't even be mad. You know what else I'm not mad at?
Ray Chase?
Ray Chase, who has played such characters as Hauser from The Seven Deadly Sins, Fyodor Dostoevsky from Bungo Stray Dogs, Roswell Mathers from ReZero, Tenga Onigawara from Mob Psycho 100, and Best Boy Bruno Bucciarati from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind.
Bucciarati is best boy. Oh, can I start this for a second here?
The floor is yours,
I
man.
have a story attached to Sabnok, and we all know where this is gonna go. When I was watching this show with Andrew at first, and Sabnok Sabro was introduced, and we were just talking about him, and I'm like, and Andrew's like, yeah, he's a beefy, brawny boy, and I'm like, Andrew, that doesn't begin to describe it. Sabnok Sabro is a fucking Chad. This character is a Chad, and Andrew looks at me, he just starts laughing. I'm like, you're not wrong. And then I look at it again, I'm like, and then I find out it's Ray Chase who's voicing this. And I'm like, Andrew, this is no longer Ray Chase voicing Sabnok Sabro. This is Ray Chad. This character's name is now Ray Chad. I will hear no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because I'm like, this character is a total fucking Chad, voiced by Ray Chase. You just have to switch a couple letters in the last name and you get Ray Chad. It's like accurate.
Before the
Except after C. And, God, we were talking about how much of a fucking wizard Ray Chase can be sometimes. Again, it's proven fact here.
I legit don't think I've ever heard him do this kind of voice before now.
Like I can definitely tell it's him, but it is very distinct.
No.
It's a very unique Ray Chase that I really haven't heard elsewhere.
100%. Like, again, similar to Alex Lee, there are those little vocal quirks or little vocal tics that you can recognize, like, because we've watched plenty of stuff Ray Chase has done that we can recognize it. So, it was very easy for me to recognize this as Ray Chase too. But goddamn is Sabnok Sabro a fucking moron.
Yep.
And we love him for it.
Oh, he's such a good boy. He's such a good bad boy.
I'm trying to think, what were my notes for this? I said that in the beginning I kind of assumed that Sabnok was going to be like the Bakugo of this show, or like, at the very least, a Flash Thompson in terms of being like the arrogant jock bully, and Ray Chase's performance simply like gave off that vibe for the first episode or two. But like when we learned more about Sabro, it's clear that instead of being a bully jock, he's more of a jock chuny, and I'm just like very looking for that.
Oh my god.
You're right.
You're right.
He is a chuny because
right.
He talks in like Shakespearean tones too.
Oh my god, you are.
Yeah.
He is the goddamn chuny. He is the fucking chuny. Holy shit. Like, I can't unthink
like he
that.
literally makes his own edgy backstory while he's fighting the demon of Cutthroat Valley.
Yeah.
In reality, no. Remember, he made his own edgy story, but then he's like, that didn't even happen.
That didn't even happen.
My sister's fine, and my brother is here. What the fuck?
My brother's a pacifist.
So good. just
Which, by the way,
delivery's fantastic.
I don't know who plays his sister, but she's adorable.
She's precious. I love it. No, but the delivery on that bit was so good. It was so great. Oh, Ray, like a lot of these actors in this show, Ray has such impeccable comedic timing with Sabro's bits. It is just absolutely just wonderful. Oh my god, he's just a fucking meathead, and it's fucking great.
But yeah, I just love how, like, in the middle of his really buffy, like, Chad bro dialogues, he just throws in, like, I claim thee to be my rival.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, that's so silly. That's so goofy. I love it. But yeah, it's just... Also, unrelated, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but I love, like, when they're doing the Battler episode, where he literally just kind of in the middle of, like, as they're walking by, he does a fucking All Might, I am here!
Yes.
I am here. I will be the Demon King. This is the Demon King Battler, and then he learns that's basically just a group that just researches shit about the Demon King.
And then he joins
Okay,
anyway.
Can we talk about how good a punch...
He
He's not even disgusted by it. He's surrounded by a bunch of bookworm, like, nerds, and he's like, yo, this is awesome! There's so much info here! I love it!
It's fucking perfect! It's so good! And then later on during the fucking,
The Battler Party.
Thank you, Battler Party. They basically put on a play, and Subnok is playing the Demon King, because of course he would be.
Yeah.
Because he would kill to play that part.
Because of course he would play the Demon King. Like, it was so funny. Like, he was perfect for that, too, considering his fucking... Because I can't unthink this now. Thanks, Jet. His fucking chuny talk. It was so good.
It's so funny. But yeah, no, just like... He's genuinely a friendly guy,
Yeah.
and I actually love his interactions with, like, some of the other classmates. Like, he's got a rivalry with Asmodeus for obvious reasons,
Yes.
but he's actually got a pretty friendly relationship with Clara.
Yeah.
Because Clara just climbs him and bugs him. He doesn't even care.
Probably because,
Like-
because when we met his sister, she climbed, like, on his shoulders and shit, too.
Yeah.
So he's probably used to
Probably
it.
used
Like,
to it.
he's basically working out, and she's mad at the fact that Lady Redhead, who we'll talk about in just a moment, is gonna steal Iruma. It's like, why don't you steal him with your own feminine wiles? And then she's like, wait, why don't I?
Yeah.
And then
But
Clara
yeah, no.
joins the succubus class, and it fails spectacularly.
Yeah.
Shenanigans ensue. We'll talk more about Clara in a bit, but God, Ray Chase is just so funny.
Yeah.
Any other quick little addendums to Ray Chad?
He cannot be. He's no longer Ray Chase or Sabnok Sabro. This is Ray Chad.
At first glance, when I heard this, I had him confused with Kelly Goff, so,
I can see why the confusion would be there. I can see it.
Which is ironic.
Which, speaking of
Which is ironic, because he takes on Kelly Goff in Cutthroat Valley.
Kellen Goff shows up in a couple of background scenarios. He plays that one wolf guy at the Great
He plays
Dinner.
a Maimon, he plays the
he's-
Guardian Cutthroat Valley. He's also the school bell, which
He's the school
which
bell.
sounds like somebody stepped on his back or something. Jesus Christ.
So
I love that he's the school bell because his entire role is, hey Kellen, how you doing, buddy? You have a good weekend? You have a fun time? All right, let's scream.
It's like, Helen, did you have fun with JoJo this week? Cool, we're gonna have you start yelling for 30 minutes.
Which, to be fair, he kind of does eventually do that too in JoJo's.
Well, not...
Everybody yells in JoJo.
Not wrong. But, fucking Kellen Goff. I'm excited for JoJo this week.
For reasons.
For reasons.
For reasons.
Fucking-
Unspecified reasons.
I'm just gonna say this. Kellen Goff is fucking killing it in Golden Wind. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I will say.
Anyways,
But anyway.
but you're saying? Okay, cool. All right, so here's the thing. Stephanie, you know I have called Clara Valak my daughter. Clara Valak's my daughter.
Is Ameri your girlfriend now?
Ameri's my girl.
How did I
Ameri
know?
is my girl. She's cool. She's strong. She's cute as a button, and she's precious and sweet, and like kind of a little soon. Here's the thing. When people assume tsundere, or you got that, they assume kind of bratty, holier than thou. Ameri is super supportive of Iruma.
Yes.
She's a genuinely supportive, encouraging figure and wants him to be better. She asks him about his goals and his dreams. It's like, oh, well, I really want to try my hardest and make friends. It's like, no, that's what you like doing now. What's your actual goal? What's your ambition? What do you want to do for yourself? And like, Iruma's inspired by her. It's like, I want to do better because she's inspiring me to do better. And she's genuinely really sweet. And the relationship, like, she actually makes with Iruma is like, God, I ship it so hard. Like, oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. Not only is it cute because the chemistry is there. Tall girl and small boy is adorable.
Yeah.
Freaking adorable.
Oh my god.
God damn doki doki sweet.
God damn it. Yes.
But
Oh, I love how they yeah, no, just Ameri is so strong and sweet. Like, she's really good at what she does. She's a good class president. She's a very supportive, encouraging friend and figure.
100%.
If she, like, I totally ship her and Iruma hard.
Yeah, I can agree. Listen, yeah, like, I really do just like how the whole, like, especially like how the whole, like, kind of revelates that she did the children novels kind of, like, basically ties into her whole, like, weird dynamic with Iruma.
Yep.
Oh, it's so shoujo. It's so good.
Where she spends the whole time worrying, like, about the possibility of, like, him seducing her. When she never quite realized the fact that he basically really did seduce her in the end. And while she sees Iruma as very good company, it's clear that she's more into him than she knows, and she just hasn't, like... she basically just hasn't quite pieced it together yet.
No, she has not.
She's getting there eventually. Anyway, speaking about Kira Buckland's no stranger to this to the show, both figuratively and literally. Figuratively, we've talked about her on this podcast a lot. Figuratively, she's like 2 or 3 other background characters as well. She's the dragon best friend of Eiko, and I think she's one of the girls that hangs out with Dasanko. I think she's the one with pink hair.
Yeah, I'm also gonna say that, like, because I hadn't gotten around to playing Nier Automata until, like, maybe a couple of weeks ago. I have to say, like, this was, like, a very interesting Kira Buckland role for me because this was, like, very distinct. And what...
Man, going from 2B to Ameri must be, like, night and
No, I say that because, like, this is, like, a lot deeper than I remember, like, heard Kira go before. So, like, and 2B is, like, the only other point of comparison where it's like, oh, okay, I can kind of see where that voice comes from now.
But yeah, no, she's very cold. Like, she's very cold and tough at times, but then she's also really goddamn cute and adorable. Oh god, like, Kira does the dichotomy to Ameri's, like, vocal tics and, like, change in face so convincingly, almost effortlessly. Like Kira's a pro at this point, and oh god, I love her as Ameri so much. She's so good.
Yeah.
It's a fun balance between, like, the leader type role with the student council, and then you have, oh god,
basically
precious cinnamon roll,
doe-eyed schoolgirl.
The doe-eyed schoolgirl. That's the accurate way to put it. Who just loves reading her shoujo manga. It's so precious.
Also, while we, like, aren't talking about it specifically, I do like her whole dynamic with, like, her dad is played by David Vincent.
Yes.
And basically just like this whole joke where, like, she's talking about, like, all the time she's with Iruma, but she isn't, like, but she doesn't want to reveal she's into shoujo manga, so instead she refers to, like, all their interactions as dates without knowing what a date is.
God, this is a good shonen anime, but it's also a really good comedy too. Like, there's a genuine misunderstanding. It's like, I can't tell my dad I'm reading text that he stole from the other world for me. We're talking about love and romance and about our futures together. And then he's just like, what?
And then he just becomes a very doting dad and is like, "You are not wearing my daughter."
He's a psychopath.
baby girl.
This kid.
Are you okay? Who said you could call me father? What?
I didn't say.
And his glasses break like not once, not twice, but 3 times constantly.
Yes.
I was like,
4 times.
4? Was it 4?
oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Shit.
How do they keep
Yeah.
breaking? But yeah, no, David Vincent's great. But no, just Kira Buckland, like, she's talented and she does a really great job as Ameri. Like, she's got the sass, she's got the stone cold badassery, she's got the doe-eyed schoolgirl. I love how she's kind of... you know what's another scene I love? Where it's like, okay, I can't just lend this book out to you. It's like, well, I want to make fireworks.
Yep.
And then she's like, wait, fireworks? In the book? Oh no, look at that. I'm so sleepy and careless today. It would be a shame if I left this book right here, only if it turned up tomorrow, I wouldn't even bat an eye. Thanks, Ameri. What? No, I'm leaving
so
the
cute.
book. Don't worry. Oh, it's so cute.
Can I also point out, because Jet, you said this is probably the lowest range you've ever heard Kira before?
Yeah.
Jamal will appreciate this. I've actually heard her possibly go a little bit lower. To be fair, though, it was for a boy character.
Yeah.
I would do it.
Because it was Rio Rainbow Gate. So, going from Rio Rainbow Gate back to Iruma-kun.
Ameri.
I said Rio Rainbow Gate to Iruma-kun, thank you very much. Titles. It's not that much of a difference, actually. I don't know if it seemed the same to you, Jamal, or not, but like it's not too much of a difference. Just the type of tone, really. I think it's for because you have a boy character versus like a teenager with like a little bit of a deeper register.
It actually kind of did it. I will admit that one of the reasons I started watching this show was because of Ameri, because Ameri had such a unique character design, and also when I heard she was going to be voiced by Kira Buckland, I was like, sweet. I really should get into the show then, because yeah, like you said with the 2B comparisons, yeah, it is a pretty deep register.
Yeah.
Kira manages to play his character very well, which is funny because I've also met her in person, and she's a very good cosplayer too. So
Yes, I've heard.
yeah, so at this point I'm just wondering like, what more is this character gonna go? Obviously, we'll find out next season, but I do like that we could appreciate a big girl without be too judging, because she has all these antics going for her, because she can't outright just say what it is she's thinking, and it happens to play out like a shoujo scenario from manga.
It does. She
She
goes through a lot of actual shoujo scenarios in the show. It's hilarious.
Which by the way, I
cute.
noticed it was published by Kawaii Comics.
That's
Fuck,
pretty
that's
good.
great.
That's pretty good, yeah.
I didn't notice.
Also, 2 quick things I want to add in just before, I think we call it a night. One, I'd like to share a headcanon from my good friend Katie regarding Ameri, where she and I are on the same mind of this. If Ameri knew what fanfiction.net was, she would be reading fluffy vanilla fics until 4 in the goddamn morning.
I see it.
Here's what it is. Here's what it is. Ameri would see the tag slow burn coffee AU and be like, this is just gonna be the rest of my fucking night.
What would happen if she'd seen AO3?
Oh god.
I mean, okay, basically the same deal, except pretty much the same deal, more or less.
Oh shit.
She's gonna see the fluffy stuff. She's gonna see the rated E for everybody stuff. She's not gonna go for the M tags.
God.
The other thing I'd like to make one more joke. Are you familiar with the image of the hamster eating the banana?
No.
I've seen it, but
Okay. If I had to describe the influx of that regarding Iruma and Ameri, it would be a squirrel eating a taco.
I don't get it.
you trust me, you don't want to get it.
It's size difference. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh fuck.
Yes. Also, one more thing I wanted to point out, because you brought it up earlier with the manga voices. I'm kind of partially convinced that was Kira doing the manga voices, but I'm not entirely sure yet. So
It's hard. To
I think the rival
yeah,
girl,
the
that could
rival
have either
girl.
been
I
Kira
know.
I think that either could have been Kira or Sarah Williams. I wasn't sure.
Can I just say one thing before we move on?
Yes.
Andrew, you should go into a corner that was terrible, and you should fucking feel bad.
I'm gonna go into the corner.
Don't be mean to Ameri, you dang asshole.
I don't want to be mean. I wasn't even being mean to Ameri.
I don't give a shit. That was horrible.
I love Ameri. She's
That was
great.
horrible. Why you do your girl dirty here?
I'm sorry, Ameri. I love you.
Anyway.
But yes, I love Ameri. I hope she finds love and happiness and joy. But yeah, no, Ray, I almost actually just said Ray Chase. Ray Chase,
catching on.
Ray Chase as Somnock is delightful. Kira Buckland as Ameri is wonderful.
Also,
Let's talk about...
I'll give points to anybody that makes an AMV about Ameri's antics to Ameri's One Thing. There's a song called One Thing by a girl named Ameri, and I'm just like, please somebody make an AMV out of this.
Here's what I want. I want more art of Ameri and Iruma. They're surprisingly little of it. I want more.
You know what I want?
I'm not gonna go deviant art for that. I'm gonna get the weird stuff.
You know what I want? To talk about more gremlin children.
Yes, please.
Yes. Let's talk about the best children.
Yes, please.
Let's talk about Asmodeus Alice and Clara Valak.
Yes.
Iruma's two best friends in the whole wide world. Asmodeus Alice is basically the top student of the class before he is rightfully lost the title due to nepotism and then challenges Iruma to a fight, which Iruma beats him, and then he basically becomes his humble puppy dog golden retriever servant friend. I'm sorry, Alice is basically just the demon equivalent of golden retriever, and he's so precious.
Okay, because I'm the only person who would actually understand this joke. He is basically just Gokuda from Reborn with pink hair. If you ever watched that show and you see Gokuda for 10 seconds, they're basically the exact same character, and I'm kind of impressed.
Good to know. And then there's Clara Valak. She is a goofy little gremlin child. She can make anything with her pockets, and for better or for worse, people have taken advantage of her in the past because of that, just because she really wanted people to interact with her and play with her. And then it turns out Iruma didn't want to play with her because she was getting him cool stuff. It's because he really liked playing with her.
It was so cute.
It's actually, genuinely, a sweet, wonderful moment. And the payoff to, that guy that's basically,
And then she throws a vending machine.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that
was
scene
so
much.
good. She just looks at Iruma, she's like, just watch me. And boom!
Basically, they are pretty much... Asmodeus and Clara come from two different walks of life. Asmodeus is basically, a preppy rich kid who comes from money.
His mom is one of the 13, I believe.
His mom's one of the 13, and she's a succubus who probably tried to seduce Iruma, and he was like, Mom, no, that's my boyfriend.
Fuck. Yup.
Also, his mom was Christina V.
Yep.
That's cool. And then Clara is basically, more poverty, but she lives in, a loving, crowded home. And it's really sweet and loving, and they all love each other, and they all break out in song, in tandem. And it's great. Let's talk about who plays these two.
Oh, boy.
I really want to talk about who plays these two. Playing Asmodeus Alice is Billy Kometz, and playing Clara Valak is Kaylee Mills. Billy Kometz has played such characters as Kyoya Mitsurugi from Konosuba, Mikhail Chirov from Sirius the Jaeger, Gallo Timos from Promare, Metal Lee from Boruto, and Josuke Dora Higashikata from JoJo Diamond is Unbreakable. And Kaylee Mills has played such characters as Amelia from ReZero, Yun from Konosuba, Runa Yomizuki from Kakegurui, Alice Suberg from Sword Art Online Alicization, and Hinata Kawamoto from March Comes In
Okay, I feel
I
like...
am Asmodeus von Iyer.
Okay, yeah, I feel like we should probably talk about Asmodeus.
Wait, what? Wait, what was that?
I am Asmodeus von Iyer.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should probably talk about Asmodeus first because I feel like Clara's probably gonna take a while. Like,
Oh, Clara's gonna take a minute because there's more to it than just Clara.
All right, let's talk about the goodest boy that's ever.
I am
born.
Asmodeus von
it's,
Iyer.
I'm gonna be honest for a second, saying that like next to like Kyle, Homma, and Sullivan, this was also probably the one that maybe took a little bit to grow on me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like I thought Billy did like a good job of handling Asmodeus being like very arrogant and snob in like episode 1 and making him sound like a smug rich dude, which made it funny when Iruma just kind of beats him in a very awkward manner. But like I thought he had like maybe a little bit of growing pain where Billy had to shift to like basically being Iruma's manservant. Like I didn't think his delivery was bad, but I thought he had a hard time adjusting for like maybe the first couple of episodes, and I thought his comedic range like wasn't quite as funny in the beginning as I would have expected. Like, for example, that whole... I like that whole bit where, like, they're playing House with Clara in episode 3 and he had to, like, play the role of a jealous housewife. I actually thought Billy... I was actually expecting Billy to go a lot hammier with that.
It was so good.
But boy,
so
I will
good.
say, does he grow?
He definitely grows into it.
Oh my god, like... I knew Billy could do really good comedy stuff. Oh my god, this is
amazing.
like he's got that rich, the way he talks, he's got that rich kid high and mighty royal we to his voice, which makes it all the funnier when he gets so pissed off when Clara does stuff. And he's just
basically all the moments he bounced off of Clara are amazing. Like going back to the whole thing the last episode where like they're having that cooking contest. I just love the way he has like an aneurysm trying to figure out what muffles are.
he's literally just like freaking out. What the fuck are these words?
It's fried chicken.
It was fried chicken!
It was so good. No, like, I really, really love... I think this might actually be one of my favorite performances of the whole show, to be honest. I fucking love Billy as Asmodeus. Because it's like... It's funny that I find it interesting that it took you a few episodes to kind of adjust to it, or you think Billy had to adjust to it. I was sold from episode 1, actually.
Same.
Like, because, like, I'm not 100% used to Billy, and at that point, I was used to him. I make the joke of Asmodeus von Iyer. I was used to him as Ferdinand von Iyer from Fire Emblem Three Houses at this point. And, like, this character, at a base level, is similar to Ferdinand. At a base level. But then, like, after he's defeated by Iruma and becomes his little servant, Golden Retriever does not begin to describe the character that Asmodeus is. Like, because he's just, like, so adorable, and up there is like, yes, master, we can do this, we're gonna raise your rank up, and it's like, make way for Iruma, sir. Like, it's so fun. And then you throw Clara into the mix, and then it's just like, Billy has to go full-on crazy, especially with Clara's antics. And it's just, I think it's so well-rounded of a performance and a character, and it's so much fun. Like, I also love when he gets, like, very intimidating and things like that, but there are also moments where I love where he gets very embarrassed.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
i.e. anything having to do with his mother.
Oh god, he's literally just like, basically it's like, oh, your mother's coming. David, do whatever you can to stop her. No, oh wait, no, it wasn't even that. It was like, what he's literally they're talking about the parents coming. Yep. It's like, my mother says she's coming. She will be stopped.
And then she shows up anyway, and he's like, Mom, no! And then, the other moment that he's very embarrassed is, when he has to be an idol for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Oh god, I forgot. Yeah, and he's got to do the really cute, like, oh, my name's Alice, and I will set your heart ablaze. Like, oh,
it was so good. Like, there's a lot to Asmodeus in terms of personality, and sometimes Asmodeus can be, like, very yelly. Asmodeus can be very yelly and very, very, like, high energy, and Billy, at least in my mind, Billy doesn't take it too far where it becomes obnoxious, because there's a difference between high energy and absolutely obnoxiousness.
But I think he definitely gets high.
Oh,
He gets the high energy
good.
so good, and I absolutely loved it.
And God, I actually like, just because there's a lot of fun moments, before I talk about, like, some of my favorite lines he says,
It was fried chicken. Sorry.
No, you want to talk about my other favorite line? It was the episode where he meets Ameri's dad, where, like, Clara's coming up and being weird, and he says the line, "Why must you always insist on acting like a psychotic gremlin?"
Yes!
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, Rachel, that's
Because
perfect.
Clara, in a nutshell, is a psychotic gremlin.
I also wrote down, "She vexes me so."
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that's just such an as thing to say. An as. But also, I really love, like, the execution cannonball thing, where he's literally like, oh shit, how do I help my boy out?
Yes.
And it's like, wait a second.
And then after some
This is
time passes,
disgraceful.
he realizes that it's just him versus Iruma, because one, he's not really paying attention to the game.
Help him out? I'm being selfish and not even thinking of the hard work he's doing. I need to give it my all and give him my all.
That was a really nice scene.
That was
That was a
good.
really satisfying moment, and he's just a good dude. And Billy is so funny as him, and God, he bounces off of both Iruma and Clara
Yes.
perfectly. Clara Valak.
Hold on. What about Jamal?
Oh, sorry.
Hi, Amir. Yes.
Hi, Jamal.
So
sorry.
yeah, so basically with Billy, it's kind of it's a very interesting dynamic because for one thing, he goes like bully comments when he's just picking a fight with Iruma because he's upset over the what happened in the student assembly, to which he loses by German suplex.
Yeah, it's so good. Because, side note, Iruma at the entrance exam reads unknowingly a spell that apparently makes him not fall for the whole day. And in saving
Okay,
Aiko, he doesn't fall, and instead German suplexes Asmodeus.
I remember when I did manage to get Megan to watch the first episode, she was like, oh God, that part cracked me up so bad.
Yeah, so he just goes from bully comments to bully comments, dealing out his usual antics. Yeah, there is pretentiousness, but that's by design. Having to deal with Clara, which is obviously no easy feat.
No.
And then there's belly comments where he just makes you laugh constantly, because I know one of my favorite lines from him, obviously everybody else said it. It was fried chicken!
That's still one of my favorite moments.
Because the delivery and the timing of it so well, which, by the way...
Perfect.
Which, by the way, did anybody else realize it was chicken, or was it just me?
Like, based on the pictures when Az was trying to figure out what the fuck it was.
The picture,
because he said it himself. He's like, it looks like it could be fried chicken.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's definitely fried chicken, isn't it?
It sounds like a waffle.
The picture, the directions made me think of chicken tikka masala. Also, if you put balsamic vinegar on your chicken, it does taste a little like chocolate, but
Really?
Well,
That's
I didn't
weird.
know that.
Well, it depends, really. It was only one time I experimented in college. Anyway, but yeah, he does give me some good belly laughs, especially with the omake in episode 22, where you find out he's very accustomed to dressing up in women's clothes.
Yeah, that was so good. They're in the Tsukima, and then, yep. And Iruma's judging him, and he's just like, no, I just help my mom pick stuff out all the time.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Look, there ain't no judging. It's fine.
So good.
True, but
Iruma does not judge at all.
Iruma.
He's supportive of all of his friends / boyfriends / girlfriends.
speaking of which,
It's time.
Clara.
Ah, Clara.
Let's talk Clara.
So yeah,
Let me
all right. There's no need to really miss any words here. Like, let's just be real for a sec. Like, Kaylee Mills is the best performance in this dub.
yep.
I almost can't argue with
You
you,
know-
but I would at least make one argument for somebody else. Though, honestly, you know what? Kaylee might be the
About
best.
to say, like, even though Billy as Asmodeus is probably my favorite, 100% Kaylee is probably the best. For many fucking reasons.
Oh yeah.
Let's go into at least Clara.
For probably an additional, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 5 reasons?
Yeah.
Six.
Clara.
Is it six?
Let's first start with Clara.
Okay.
As a character.
Okay.
Clara, as a character, by design, in concept, and in premise,
Is a gremlin.
yes, but also, I feel like in any other show, in any other writer's hand, this character would be insufferable.
Yes. She would be absolutely obnoxious and grating, and you would not be able to stand her.
I feel like
100%.
this really is a fine balance where it's like, this is a character you see in other shows that would be so annoying, so obnoxious. Like, she's almost by design like the kind of thing that would have been really big in like high school hot topic circles in regards to like, Clara Valak is almost like Gurr in Invader Zim.
Oh my god. Fuck you, you're right.
Like, that's the kind of level of chaotic memery
Yep.
we're dealing with, in theory.
Yes. You're...
Where it seems like Clara should get old. She should get obnoxious. She could get insufferable. And then you learn what her deal is.
Yes.
Her deal is that she is really high-strung energy, and she's a little bit much, and doesn't quite understand, like, social boundaries, or, like, people don't get that they're kind of, like, tired of dealing with, like, her chaos shenanigans, and don't always want to really deal with her. And she makes things. And she makes things for people because she wants people to like her. Because she wants them to like her and be friends with her.
And she gets taken advantage of that.
And people will take advantage of her for that. And have. And it's something she kind of just accepted, just as long as people play with her and, like, humor her every now and then. She was okay with just being taken advantage of. Until Iruma's just like, no. You're nice. You're fun. You're sweet. I like hanging out with you. You're friendly. You're fun. I like you. And it's like, seeing that side day one, it's like, oh, you are annoying and you are obnoxious. But I also know you. I've been you. I know somebody like you. And I get it. And I sympathize with her.
She suddenly becomes very, very relatable to people.
She becomes this very relatable, sympathetic character who's got a lot more going on under hood. I love, like, when you see that she knows she's being taken advantage of, and she's just like, I already knew this. This isn't new. And then it's just like the kind of uncomfortable scene where it's like, Iruma, I'm giving you all these cool things. It's like, I don't want that. And it's quiet, and she doesn't know what to do. And it's just like, I just want to hang out with you. And then that guy who's, like, taking advantage of her is like, hey, Clarine, get us some drinks.
Again,
and then
vending
Iruma
machine.
Iruma just goes, he's like, hey, Clara, you don't. And then she turns to him with an evil grin. And, like, Kaylee as Clara is just like, just watch me. I'm like, ooh, I love that.
And then vending machine to the face.
Then vending machine. And then from that point on, she becomes the kind of, like, comedic, goofy gremlin daughter. But by that point, I'm already fallen in love with her. She is already my child. She is already precious. Oh my god, Kaylee Mills is unbelievably stupid.
And
talented.
it's like, that's not the only instance where Kaylee has, like, a moment where she's not gremlin child. She has a few other fun moments as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when she takes the succubus class, when she fucking... the cook-off, actually, speaking of, with Asmodeus is actually a good example of this, too. So she does have her moments where she's more than just this loud, hyperactive kid. Like, she has these moments where you realize where I question sometimes if it's an act or if it's just her naturally, but, like, it's very interesting watching Clara as a character, and I love Kaylee Mills' portrayal of it, because I'm used to Kaylee Mills as fucking Alice. In Alicization. This is so
this is
different.
Like night and day.
This is night and day.
Like, I've heard her do this kind of voice in Kakegurui, where she plays a little gremlin Umaru girl. Like, that's the only reason I kind of know this voice, but it's still very different from that character, too.
Yeah. Also, it is. Also, it's very interesting that that stuff that's brought up, like the whole documents class thing, because I think by far one of my favorite jokes with Clara is that we brought up the whole sexiness meter thing before. When it gets to Clara, it's at 2%, and the teacher's just like, "Oh my god, she's literally canonically more innocent than a baby."
Babies have 3%.
She is more innocent than a baby.
Babies are at least 3%. She's less than a baby. It's so good.
That's so sweet, but it's also it is a funny moment, but you also genuinely see her real frustration of not being taken seriously as a woman, and it's no, there's character to her. It's really interesting, and I'm glad she's at 10%. I'm proud of her.
She's a good girl.
Actually, I also wanted to maybe go into a literary thought process, because I was also discussing this with Katie earlier. Maybe there's kind of a writing or an analysis you could make that Clara kind of is somebody on the spectrum, maybe in regards to a little bit autistic.
Maybe. I don't know. It's
possible,
maybe,
but I don't want to say it's fact.
It's I'm not going to say that's outright what it is, but I think there's at least some sort of writing you could make of of her being somewhere on some sort of social disability spectrum.
Having on my end a few friends that I know are on the spectrum in some form or fashion, I can kind of see it a little bit. I don't think so. I think she's just naturally just positive and optimistic.
No, that's fair. I just kind of wanted to bring the idea up as a sort of
I feel like it's also familial as well, because sweet lord, her family. But
okay. You want to just talk about her family now? Because let's talk about who plays her family.
Kaylee Mills.
Her family is played by Kaylee Mills, and Kaylee Mills.
Wait, you forgot Kaylee Mills.
Oh shit, how did I forget?
How did we forget about Kaylee Mills? Yeah, she plays her entire family, which consists of, I think, at least 2 females, including the mother.
The mother,
and
Wadwan Simpson, which are the 2 babies.
Oh, yeah, and then she has
Kibo
2
and
little
Kanchi,
brothers.
yeah, the 2 little brothers, and Uwala, which is a little drawing, I don't know.
So 2 babies, a mom, a
2
teen,
babies.
and 2 younger brothers.
Yeah.
With potentially a father and maybe one other brother? I might have missed it.
They
Anyways.
definitely said the father was missing for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, the father was missing. We haven't met the father yet.
He's working overseas.
Oh, God,
I knew that was coming.
Which he's working overseas, as the kids
And
like
she
to
doesn't just voice the entire family. She has to sing as the entire family.
She sings as the family, and they all have different sounding
Yes.
voices, and she sings
so
all of them with
different.
different sounding
it's worth
voices.
noting there are at least a few chorus lines too, meaning there is a 0% chance they had to sing an entire chorus by herself.
Yeah.
Not only that, she adapted all of the songs. So she adapted every song that she had to play 6 characters for, and at least one of those songs, actually 2 of them, 2 of those songs were done remotely at home.
Yep. 100.
Kaylee Mills, not only is she probably one of the best performances in this dub, she, outside of the engineers, she's probably putting some of the most fucking work into the show too.
That's not even a question at this point. Holy fuck, Kaylee Mills.
God, Clara's great. She's precious. She's funny. She's wonderful. I could sit here all day quoting lines that she said. You suck! When she's just throwing the little rocks.
Oh my God.
When she tries to seduce Iruma and she says epic fail. Lady Redhead.
Yep.
I also appreciate the song adaptation line, Valak Fam #1.
Yes. That was cute.
There's so many lines, but just the level of energy, enthusiasm. God, Kaylee Mills is so fucking good as
And she
Clara.
has to bring that same energy and enthusiasm to 5 other characters in the show.
It makes them sound
and
different.
yeah, make them distinct and different, which is fantastic. Like, oh my god. Like,
Oh my god, yeah. Alright.
Kaylee Mills.
Alright.
Yes.
Alright, we're almost at the home stretch, guys. Any other thoughts?
Bake Best did very well. Good job, Kaylee Mills, and 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 Kaylee Mills.
Basically, Kaylee Mills times 6
7.
is MVP of the show. 7?
Clara and the 6 other family members.
She had... No, it's 5.
I'm looking at Anime Planet. It's 7.
Is it?
It is.
I don't...
I know there's
look,
the
semantics.
mom, the 2 brothers, and the 2 babies, and Clara makes 6.
And that little drawing too. I don't know.
What little drawing?
It's probably the dad that's not in the picture, so to speak.
I'm confused.
Also, can we talk about the fact that her shoes are alive?
I'm just surprised you didn't bring up your favorite gift.
Like that. Oh yes, I love the gif where she's literally just trying to like shimmy and shake her stuff, and it's just her dressed like a little pom-pom thing. And I also love the part after it where
it's so great.
And where Billy runs in, it's like, I can't leave you alone for 5 minutes. God, they are such a good brother-sister combo.
So good.
It's great.
I love it.
Oh god, Asmodeus, Alice, Clara Valak, Billy and Kaylee, I love them so much.
Kaylee Mills MVP
And now-
of the show.
But now it's time to talk about the best boy.
Oh boy.
Iruma Suzuki, 14-year-old Iruma Suzuki, trying his best not to stand out and standing out harder than everybody's ever stood out.
Yep.
He's a blue boy, he's a good boy, he's a sweet boy, he's a kind boy, he's a snarky boy, he's a great boy, he's good at ball, he's good at class, he's good at friends, he's good at saving the day.
Andrew, we get it. Iruma's a good boy.
Iruma is legit like one of my favorite character archetypes of basically like unassuming sweet boy who's a secret badass. It legit is one of my favorite character archetypes. Yes. It's probably one of the reasons why I like this show so much. But I also want to talk about who plays good blue boy Iruma Suzuki. And that would be Laura Stahl. Laura Stahl has played such characters as Mami Nanami from Rent-A-Girlfriend, Aiga Akuba from Beyblade Burst Rise, Miura from Isekai's Cheap Magician, Rei from The Promised Neverland, and of course, Hayato Kawajiri from JoJo Diamond is Unbreakable. Which, now that we've confirmed that, I know it was a complete accident. The fact that Hayato and Josuke are in a class run by Yoshikage Kira is the funniest fucking thing.
Shit. Oh, God.
Okay, so here's the thing. I know I was saying Kaylee Mills is probably the best performance in this dub. I'm gonna be honest. There's an argument that can be made for Laura Stahl.
There is, actually.
And my argument is First Love Memories.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was gonna bring that up, actually.
My argument is First Love Memories because Laura Stahl is a girl who is playing a young teenage boy who, when reading First Love Memories, is a girl playing a young teenage boy who is also playing a higher-pitched teenage girl in the manga voice and a lower-pitched teenage voice in the manga voice, too.
Yep.
Like, I remember asking Jalen during his AMA what it was like one of your favorite moments during the show, and it's like, Laura Stahl, our Iruma, and one of my besties, is so great at what she does, so seeing her brain break as we tried to figure out how to play Iruma playing the manga characters for Ameri was a pretty grand time.
I bet that was a fun time, because it's voice actor inception happening here, basically.
That was literally the exact note I had.
It's Tropic Thunder.
What? You gonna have to run that by me.
Where'd this come from?
it's a little, let's put it like this. Tropic Thunder is a really funny, really, like, weird movie. Some of it probably would not fly by today's standard, but I still think, like, Tropic Thunder is a really funny movie that makes fun of, like, certain things. Robert Downey Jr. says the line, "I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Forgot that line. It's been a while since I watched Tropic Thunder. Yeah, you're right.
It's a slightly uncouth comparison for certain reasons, but legit, yeah, no, Laura Stahl's doing some, like, amazing work with the manga stuff, but goddamn, just, like, she does a really great job as Iruma, who sounds like he's this very good, sweet little boy who's also kind of shitting bricks every time he's in class, and it's, or, like, I just want to go home. I don't want to be here.
Yeah. I was gonna say this was like a very interesting casting choice because again, I did like watch this show during simulcast. And a person who person who played this character in Japanese was one Ayumu Murase, who you would probably know best as like Hidan in Haikyuu, or Alan Walker in like the Grandma Hollow, which is kind of cursed now. But
yeah, like fucking Iruma is played by a guy in Japanese, but I'll say this. It's a really high-pitched voice. It's a really high-pitched male voice, too. Like, I can only think of maybe, like, a couple of, like, English voice actors who could probably actually pull it off. That being said, I'm really, really happy they took a chance on this.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, 100%. Like, the only other little boy voiced character that Laura did I'm familiar with is Ray from Promised Neverland. Ray, this is not. The tone, like, some of the tone is there, but it's not serious Ray. It is fun-loving Iruma, which is great.
Ray is an edgelord. Iruma is definitely not an edgelord.
Ray is an edgelord. Iruma is not.
Iruma literally gawks at edgelords and smiles in their face and says, "I will never despair," before launching himself out the fucking window, shooting all of his energy and breaking a sky barrier. And it's
oh boy, it's funny you say that because I'm just sitting here thinking like, oh my god. I'm thinking like, oh my god, Iruma is basically just like male. He's basically just male Emma, isn't he?
He's male what?
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, my God. Fuck
shit.
You right?
I've only seen 4 episodes of Promised Neverland and I understood that.
He's not Blue Deku, he's gender-bent Emma.
Oh my god, you're right. As someone who has watched the first season and I have not finished the manga, but I'm well into it. Fuck you, you're right. God.
You're right, and I'm not even mad.
Man.
Oh my god.
I can't even argue against it.
But god, just Laura Stahl as Iruma, like, she legit, like, really does an impressive job making him sound like a very convincing, like, teenage boy with a lower register at times, but also a little goofy.
Yeah. I also love...
Just got this chemistry that just bounces off of everybody, and it's like every scene she is in with every other character, she just blends in with them, and it just works.
I also love the moments where, because Iruma's big thing throughout the whole course of the show, he doesn't want to stand out, because if he stands out, fucking, they're gonna find out he's a human, and they're gonna go and eat him. And every time he tries to, like, not stand out, he stands out even more.
Yep.
And it's just absolutely hilarious how Laura portrays that. It's like, I can't let them know. I can't let them know. And then you have moments of badassery, like the aforementioned scene where he dives out of a goddamn window.
Like, that was, like, the most shonen moment for me in the whole show, so where I was like, yo, that's right.
Like, I remember when you and I watched it the first time, we were just like, yo!
Yeah, I think my note for that was that he, like, literally yeeted Kirio's flag out a window.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yes. He yeeted it out the window, and it was great.
It's kind of funny you said gender-bent Emma, because... again, I haven't watched a lot of California dubs with Laura Stahl, so when I heard it, she kind of sounded like Erica Mendez Padipa. I guess in a way, because with Erica Mendez, when you usually hear Playboy, I get the best example would be Gon in this case. She would play them with like a little peppier tone, whereas with Iruma it has to be a much deeper tone because he's constantly worried. He's trying to blend in and not stand out. And let's see, what other notes do they have here?
Isn't it kind of? I'm not familiar with Hunter x Hunter. How old is Gon?
Gon is 12.
Gon's like 12.
Okay, and Iruma's 14. You can also throw potentially puberty in the mix then?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But she does a very impressive job. But I like the fact that you brought up the manga voices, because I think she has like at least 4 different types of voices here, including the concert ones.
Oh god, I forgot! Yeah, you're right! She's also a boy playing an idol girl, and then singing as an idol girl, impersonating a boy. Holy shit, you're right! And she also sings good.
How did you forget that?
It was good.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I'm kind of gushing, and I'm kind of tired of almost 3 hours recording, okay?
It's fun.
Like, legit, if I was to make any bold statements, because I kind of just want to gush about a couple of other things, about just Iruma is a precious child. I love him. He's a good boy.
He's a bottomless pit, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's got the appetite. He's unstoppable. Bless him.
Talk
Also-
about them.
Yeah, I mean, there's one inevitable joke I have to make just because, like, if I don't make this joke for the entire evening, I'll probably regret it.
Okay, do it.
Go for it.
So it's basically, I appreciate how well Iruma get evolved from like his beginning circumstances. Because the beginning circumstances in the beginning of the show, where he is basically just hired to combat Butler's long lost twin, and his parents are equally terrible for basically hosting him into slavery away for them, before selling him off. I think he fared a little bit better than Hayate did, because at least Iruma's parents sold him to someone nice. Hayate's parents just sold him to the Yakuza.
Nah.
Yeah.
So we've been making references all night. Because I know he's Blue Deku, basically. Does that mean Soulfin's All Might?
No.
I mean, he is powerful and at the top. I mean,
It's true.
What?
and
would
he
Sullivan
kind of
be?
did give Iruma power though. Because
He didn't eat any hair, though.
what hit would there be to eat though?
But
He's got the side tufts.
Sobnok had the catchphrase, "I am here."
Asmodeus had that in one of his eye catches, so
Did he really?
yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, okay, what? I'm not sure, like, I'm kind of not paying too much attention to the My Hero comparisons, but...
Oh my god. You know what? Asmodeus is Ida.
Oh my god.
And Clara is
Fuck!
Ochako. Clara is Ochako, but more of a gremlin.
Oh my god, you're right.
I did it.
That's probably... You know what? Also, I will say this. If you're somebody who's into shipping, you can ship Deku with most... Okay, I'm saying most. Asterisk on most. Most everybody. And it would probably be a really good ship. Like, Iruma would just make a very good boyfriend / husband to somebody.
He would. Iruma would make a good
would.
husband to someone.
Would it be Ameri? Would it be Eiko? Would it be Clara?
You're just hoping
Would
it's
it be
Ameri,
Az?
though.
Look, my personal headcanon's Ameri. I would also accept, like, a polycule of everybody. Let Iruma date everybody.
Lord, why are we in shipping wars
Okay,
now?
let Iruma date everybody.
So
Except his teacher. Except his teacher. I looked on you, AO3. Whoever wrote some sort of Iruma and Calico fanfiction.
okay, so what you're telling me is that Iruma is basically a Persona protagonist.
Fuck. And I think on that note, TLDR, Laura is a lot of fun. Can we go to final thoughts?
I'll say not only is Laura Stahl good, I will make the personal argument. This is a career highlight for Laura Stahl. It is legitimately my favorite performance she's ever.
I would argue Ray, but I would say this is close.
It's a trio for me, so.
This is like kind of neck with neck for Ray for me. Like I'd say, I think from a technical standpoint, this is like a little stronger, but yeah.
But given
That's
given
fair.
how big of a property Promised Neverland is, you could definitely argue Ray 100%.
That's fair.
This
This
I
one
do
resonated with
really
me
like
a
this one,
little
dude.
more.
She really did a
Yeah.
fantastic job here.
It's so much fun.
I also, on my rewatch, I really resonated, like, with what Iruma was saying, facing off against Kirio. Despair is a waste of time, and nothing good comes from it. I've been through hell in my life, but you know, despairing won't change the situation or fulfill me. I'll make my own happiness.
Yeah.
That's something I kind of want to stick with going into final thoughts here. This is a show that just makes me feel good. It's fun. It's sweet. It's charming. It's also just got a really well-realized universe. It's got fun characters. This is a world I really want to be with. I want to live in this world, and it's basically hell.
Basically, it is hell. What are you talking about?
I want to live in hell now.
I mean, it's certainly preferable to how the Earth is right now.
Fair.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. But legitimately, like, this is a great show, and this is a real tour de force of a dub. Like, it's got some veterans, it's got some relative new people, it's got some people who deserve more recognition, and God, this has some of, like, my favorite performances I've ever heard of some of these actors, and some of them I really like, too. Like, especially, like, Laura Stahl, Kaylee Mills, like, God, this is just a good dub. Jalen Cassell should be proud of the work he's put in. Jalen, Eddie Carrera as an engineer, Rachel Robinson, like, everybody involved with the show. This is a real wonderful treat of a dub that should absolutely be on your radar. 110%. Please watch Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun. Especially the English
Yeah,
dub.
I'm gonna, I'll piggyback off of that. Because I didn't know what to make of this show when Andrew made me watch it. I did not know. All I knew is that he absolutely loved it, and he had been trying to get me to watch it for a while, and when we did, I fell in love with it. It is so much fun. There's a lot of energy, a lot of great characters and fun moments. It has a lot of energy, but it is self-aware of itself and doesn't go overboard. Because with a lot of these characters and their high energy, the second you go overboard, it can be a little too much, and you might detract from the show as a whole a bit. But I think what Jalen did, he found that right balance in the directing on the show. He found the right balance, and it probably helps that he wrote a good amount of JoJo, because you have to find a balance sometimes on that too. And it wasn't overboard, it wasn't obnoxious, it was fantastic, and again, it also gives some fun performances and some fun moments, and it's a cast that there are points on paper where you would not expect things, and you wouldn't think that they would work, but they do. They do, and it exceeds your expectations. This is... If Andrew didn't make me watch this show, I probably would not have touched it at all, in all honesty. But I'm glad he made me watch the show, because this is probably definitely an underdog show, 100%. And I think one of my favorite, more comedic dubs from this year, definitely. So, I'm going to reflect on Andrew's sentiment. Please go watch Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, especially the dub, because it is a lot of fun.
This was a show I liked a lot. Again, like, I kept up with it during the original simulcast, so I had a lot of fun with it. I was really looking forward to the dub. Fun fact, I was literally in the room when Crunchyroll announced it was getting a dub.
Were you really?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you did. They announced that at the Anime NYC panel, and I was like, I don't really want to go watch that. Jet, you report if there's anything cool, because they announced that, Magical Senpai, and like two
Was
others.
Bookworm one of them?
The Bookworm came a little later. I think the other one was
Was it If It's For My Daughter I Defeated
Yes.
Demon Lord?
Ah,
Okay. That show with
that reaction.
Fantasy Saga drops.
Meh. Great.
But yeah, like
But yeah, I was really looking forward to the dub, and I'm glad it turned out to be a lot of fun. So it took like maybe an episode or two to grow on me, but once it did, I had a lot of fun with it, and I definitely got more miles out of it the more I watched it, and when I went to rewatch it a couple of weeks ago, I got even more out of it. So like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Direction's really solid. The script is really funny. I really like all the performances. It's just a really fun time. And this is, like, in general, this is just, like, a really cute, very kind of wholesome show. It's it's very chill, pretty funny, like, really likable cast of characters. So if you're just in the mood for, like, a good time, this is a show I'd really recommend. It's a lot of fun.
Jet?
That was Jet.
Sorry.
I was about to say.
The other
Okay,
person
sorry,
whose name
well-
starts with a J.
There's so many J's in this group, I'm sorry. Jamal.
I would admit at first the show was kind of a hard sell for me because I remember people in our circle of friends who were hyped up about it. So when I started watching it, it was kind of tough because there was some embarrassing moments that kind of made me cringe a bit, and I was like, I didn't really work up the courage to watch it until I think maybe episode 3 or so, and then started to pick up, and I started to binge it once it continued weekly up until production halted for a little bit. But once I got into the show, I really did like it though. Like I could really relate to the characters, but I can understand where he's coming from. He discovers himself as kind of a coming of age story if you're thinking about it. And when I watched the dub was very cool and very unique. Cause I know there were some people I recognized and a lot of newcomers to this. And I said to myself, this is a really good show. I really should give new stuff a chance more often because when somebody hypes something, you're like, you don't know if you're gonna like it or it's not usually your cup of tea. Like you want to make the decision yourself. But it was very good to the point that I was surprised Andrew asked me to be on this episode.
I knew you were watching it, and I knew you were enjoying it. I thought it'd be fun to have you, and I'm glad I had you guys on.
Yeah, it was very good comedy. It was a very good story, and it really is something you should check out. It's definitely an underdog because it's been sitting in the background, and people really need to watch more of this.
Yeah, like 100%. This one's flying under the radar from this year. It makes me sad.
And this is my job, right here alongside you, to push the good gospel.
That is your gremlin children.
If you have made it through a 3-hour spoiler-filled podcast of Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, and have not actually yet watched Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, you can watch the show in both Japanese and in an English dub. You can watch it either on Crunchyroll or on Verve. They are both currently available at I believe $7.95 per month for Crunchyroll, and for the Verve Premium package, it's $9.99 a month. So if you would like to try one of those services, I would highly recommend using it to watch the English dub of Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun. You're in for a very good time either way. If you would like to find us, you can find us at the Dub Talk Podcast on YouTube. We also now have a audio RSS feed where you can listen to us on the go on Spotify and or Apple Podcasts, whichever podcast platforms you prefer if you just want to take us on the go. You can also find us over on our Twitter. Our Tumblr is dead. You can also find us on
Twitch and Instagram.
Facebook.
No, we're not on Facebook.
Twitch and Instagram.
Twitch and Instagram. Even though Instagram
Twitch and
Instagram, I think
Instagram.
at this point is also dead, but For us, anyway.
We need to update some of our platforms, but our most active ones are, of course, our YouTube page and our Twitter are regularly updated alongside our Patreon. You can find, if you would like to contribute to the show, you can also go ahead and support us on Patreon. Like one of these beautiful people, our $5 patrons, B. Morris, Crimson Echidna, Michelle Travis, Miracula Corazon, Nico Robin, but with Yowie Hands, and Victor Mayborida. Alongside our $10 tiers, Anthony Simpson, Carly Lesticow, Jacob Wilson, J2 aka Jared, Julia W, and Marissa Lenti. If you would like to be one of our beautiful supporters, give us some money, you can ship in over on dubtalkpodcast.com/Patreon.
Because trust us, trying to pay for an RSS feed is no easy feat.
So yes, it's helped us a lot expand on other audio platforms. It's been a great help. If you are a $10 patron, every quarter or so, we do a patron raffle where if you would like to tell us what to do every 3 months or so, if you're a $10 patron, you can submit us a show or movie of your choice within reason. We're not going to do something that's like 100 plus episodes, but within reason, you can request a show for us to do, and we put it to chance, and whichever one wins, we do as an episode.
The only reason why he's pushing that right now is because at the time of this recording, our next episode suggestion giveaway thing is actually coming up again, so...
At the time of this recording, it would be the October, but by the time this comes out, it's probably going to be closer to the January one.
Yeah.
Point still stands, if you'd like to support us, and if you'd like to tell us what to do while also giving us money for our services, go to our Patreon. Now, beautiful, wonderful people, please introduce yourself and plug yourself.
Real quick, I'm Jet. You can find me on Twitter at DivineNega, where I will usually be talking about anime, manga, news, or what have you. You can also find me on my blog, Animation Infinity, where I will sometimes write things if I feel like it. And you can also find me on another podcast of a day, where I'll usually be talking about anime news alongside Andrew here.
Hi, I'm also there. Sometimes Steph will be on it too, depending where we record it.
Yeah, where I judge you for poor life choices, as of the last one you did.
Empty boxes.
Empty boxes!
I got rid of those, by the way.
Good! You should have gotten rid of those months ago, you bitch!
I love you! Please tell the people about yourself.
Fuck you! I was gonna let Jamal go next. Rude. I guess I'll go. My name is Stephanie. I'm also known as Lilac. You can follow me on Twitter at Lilac Anime Review, with review being spelled R-E-V-U-E. I also have a blog, lifeandtimesotaku.wordpress.com, where sometimes I do updates and things. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, I will have finally posted about my 10 anime children, which does include Kirio. Because I need to have one rebellious son in the whole group. But, yeah, I post things on occasion. It's fun time.
I'm Jamal. You can be found on Twitter, Jamstar529. You can be found on YouTube at Jamstar1. I have a blog, Collected Dust. By the time this episode comes out, hopefully I'll actually attempt to get my podcast off the ground, my solo podcast. What is it about? Well, stay tuned and see. Let's see. I said I'm an assistant editor for the podcast, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of assistant editors on the podcast.
But we appreciate your hard work for us, too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bud. And my name is Andrew, also known as Classy Spartan. You can find me on Twitter at MangaMan9000. As stated before by Jet, I am a co-host on Surreal Resolutions podcast O&A, where we talk about anime news and stuff, and as well as just being a member of the Dub Talk podcast, which, God, this is the first episode I've done in a while. This is the first one I've hosted in a long while. Thank you guys so much for listening and being here to talk about a show I really, really wanted to talk about.
Lord almighty, this one's gonna be a fun one to edit.
Alright, and with that, it's time that class comes to a close.
And as Kelly Goff shouts us out, Otaku on friends, and keep it Devi.
keep it Devi. Good night, everybody, and Bobby, Looch.
Everybody dance.
Bobby. Everybody dance. Just the fucking.
No. This is actually, hold on. This isn't the correct song. We need Debikyū. Good night, everybody.
Good night, and Otaku on.
Debikyū